They're not. Excellent. Okay. We're doing a stream on identity because as much as we hate identity politics, all of us truly believe that identity is actually something that's important. Because we all have one. We all have an identity.
I don't know what you're talking about. Anarchy, my dudes. Everything
Anarchy,
will be okay.
my dudes.
You can identify as an anarchist.
There you go. There you go. Full on identity politics.
That was quick
I'll right off the bat.
right there. 16 moves in one. Ow.
We all identify as something or other, and as much as, like I said, we hate identity politics, we all know what we have to identify as because society as a whole forces us to identify ourselves as things. Republican, conservative.
Well, it's easy shorthand.
Meat eater.
Isn't it?
What?
It's an easy sort of shorthand, so you can sort of like just know what somebody else basically believes, without having to go through 21 million freaking questions.
It's an easy shorthand per se, but it's telling somebody that you're an atheist doesn't actually tell them very much outside of the fact that you just don't believe in God.
That's a lot.
No, it's not that much.
No, it's really not.
Yeah, it's a lot depending on the person. That person might think that believing in God is the most important thing in the world, but to the majority of people, that's not the case.
It's a very small facet of that person's personality, experience, you name it.
Who invited the cyborg?
2 things. Kat, you're A, incredibly low, B, roboting off the bat. Clearly.
Patriarchy strikes again.
We are all for oppressing women here, just so the audience knows.
Well, I wish we had. I invited minority. I invited
identity up on their chests and shit.
What is that?
No, I'm not saying I'm a misogynist, but they should be misogynist.
I see. So Pat clearly self-identifies as a sexually active male with a sexually active imagination.
Wow.
Yep.
It's like I can't get laid, bro. Is that what that means? My imagination? Huh? Huh?
Maybe.
I see. We are going full stream then. Just it's fine. It's totally what I always wanted for Christmas. But no, I'm like, in all seriousness, someone being an atheist could be somebody who bitterly doesn't believe in God anymore, no matter how much they want to. Or somebody identifying as an atheist could be some individual who is a fedora tipping fucking high school kid. You never know who it is anywhere along the spectrum. Yeah, most people just hear the word atheist and jump to their own most frequent experience. If you're surrounded by fedora tipping brat high school kids, then when someone says you're an atheist, they go, "Oh, you're one of those people."
Yep.
When you could have been a very very devout, well, any religious person, have lost your faith slowly over time because everyone around you that you've ever loved died. So that's a very different experience.
Right. So
like Jacqueline Glenn, minus the dying part.
But again,
well, no, she's a good example of somebody who used to be devout. She was in the choir and all that stuff, and now she's making a whole internet career about lying about religious people and promoting atheism.
Lovely.
That's her whole shtick.
Well, I mean, the only reason TJ is an atheist is because he's bi.
I was gonna say it's because he owns a mirror, but all right.
Oh, that's good right there. That's a fucking knee slapper.
That God.
I tell you what, I just drank some milk. I thought I was gonna spit it up all over the place.
I mean, have you seen the guy? I mean, you couldn't look in the mirror every day and just be like, "God must love me."
Yeah, I know. He's got like the werewolf bottom teeth,
right?
Okay, so you're saying there's no like information you get by knowing someone is an atheist or a Christian, or there's no like important information about that person?
Oh, no, of course you can. And you can also look at a bell curve and something, yada yada yada.
Yeah, you can get, or you can decide that gives you information, but that doesn't, and it might be accurate for the majority of people who say that, but that doesn't actually give you any information. You just have to assume it.
Okay, so does anyone want to try their hand at identifying as something that they might think that other people don't identify as? I mean, in this specific hangout.
Oh. Do we have to identify as something that we don't think other people will identify as?
Well, yeah,
Okay.
Well, why does it have to be something other people wouldn't identify as?
because that's the exercise I currently chose.
That's impossible.
Oh, okay.
That's not impossible.
A devout believer in God.
There you go.
Okay.
What are we identifying?
Ourselves, and Trigger identified himself as a devout believer in God, thinking nobody else in this room would identify as that.
Oh, okay.
What? What? Are you calling me a sinner?
Yeah.
Oh, of course I'm a sinner. But no, I'm Christian fuckwit. I got an interlinear Bible, bitch.
I've never heard
Not
anybody.
Catholic, right?
Bitch, I'm not a fucking kike either.
Catholicism doesn't count.
I'm not a Catholic. Catholicism
that's why I asked.
is Satanism light.
Okay, wait. So Pat also identifies as a God believer?
Yes, I've never heard anybody yell at people how much they need Jesus in their life as much as I've heard Pat do it.
Yeah.
That is something that I know Pat as more than anything else. It's occasionally someone will come in and complain about something, and he'll yell at them that the one thing that they're actually missing in their heathenistic life is God. Hence why they're a giant slut.
You should be such a dumb slut. This shit wouldn't
Also
happen.
calling themselves heathens,
Oh, man.
which implies they don't.
Good thing there's no place that you ever get that advice. No.
Cat, you're not better. I still can't hear you, and you're still roboting.
You know,
Yeah, it's
that's
still
also
low.
really loud too. So
Oh, I'm sorry. Do I talk loud? Oh, that must be an issue.
yeah, you do.
Oh.
You do.
The robot has a point.
Damn
I
straight,
could
I
hear.
do. I
You
identify.
know when I don't talk loud? When I'm not talking. If you just talk when I'm not talking, it won't matter how loud I am.
talking then.
Oh, it's so simple.
I guess.
Uh-huh.
This is the way it's gonna go. Okay, so does anyone else want to try their hands at this?
And I'm gonna say I identify as an old white male. And this is a slightly suspect, given I don't sound all that old, but this is in a way the differential identification, given that I ended up hanging out with young people on the internet. So that's how I feel.
So as an old white male.
Yep, old white male. Not dead yet, but old.
Are you a baby boomer? Are you old enough to be a baby boomer?
Not really, especially given that in my country the generations were slightly different timeline. So
It's the opposite. Of
culturally,
baby
I'm
boom.
not a baby boomer.
It's from one of those Nazi countries where the baby boom happened at a totally different time.
A little baby boom.
No, okay. No, I guess I don't think anybody chooses to identify as old though. I've never heard anyone choose to.
Again,
it's
in a way, it's because of the contrast of me hanging out with people like 20-year-olds. With them around, I don't feel old.
How many 20-year-olds are there in this room?
Okay,
Somethings.
In their 20s?
This room is slightly older than my usual.
Yep.
I mean, I think everyone here is in their 20s, but who is the youngest person here?
Ziggy.
No. I think Baron is.
I'm 25.
Yeah,
I'm
they're in.
26. Yeah, okay, so we're in
Kat,
the
are you older than
quarter-century
25?
club here.
Yes, I'm older.
Cat is
than
like
25.
13.
I'm
Okay.
not 13.
Yes, you are.
She's
No,
13. and a
I
half.
actually never asked Kat what
14?
she was.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, no, I'm okay. We'll just establish that the youngest person in this room is 25.
Oh,
And that might
And
be
the oldest
younger than the
person is
people.
Mark, right?
No,
maybe.
the oldest person might be Mark. Yeah. I think he told us his age yesterday.
Yeah, he's got it. He's got it by many years.
Many?
Go Mark. I'm with Team Mark.
Many years.
Yeah, it sucks.
Well, the question
I'll
is,
see you in the ground, asshole.
Fuck
You're
you.
gonna die first.
so how do
Oh,
you
it's not
feel
true.
about hanging out with a bunch of younger people, being faceless, nameless, and
Mm,
I guess geographically void?
well, primarily I feel pretty hopeful about the future because the next generation, I mean the next after millennials, I believe it's called Generation Z, seems to be much more reasonable and much more enlightened than the millennials. So the future looks much better than what you would have expected given the millennial generation.
Well, there are millennials fighting communists on their college campuses. Now, if we go back to the baby boomer times in America when we had all the hippies on the college campuses, was anyone's parents going around beating up the communists or yelling at them or doing anything?
I don't think so.
It wasn't even like, oh, here's 5% of the baby boomers yelling at the communists on their campus. No, didn't see it. So the
Good.
millennials are actually better than the boomers.
True. I agree.
Oh, fuck.
Well, so do
I
we
can-
identify as
no.
millennials? And what does that say about us?
I don't identify because it's a pretty bogus socio-generational class thing, whatever.
Well, actually,
But-
hold on. Under that description, there's except for Mark, everyone here is technically a millennial.
Yeah.
A millennial is. I actually have
Description
this.
of it.
Just like Justin Bieber.
And I think since everyone's an adult here, we're all millennials except for, Mark, because he's 40. 40
Yeah.
billion.
So
Well, hold
this,
on. Maybe Mark
Hold
would
on.
be a millennial.
is that something we all identify as? Society and science has officially dubbed all of us millennials, and all those videos of millennials being weak, dumb, ignorant, and fucking lazy.
It's all propaganda.
Do any of us identify as weak-minded, foolish, and lazy?
Nope.
Nope.
Huh. Interesting.
Well, okay, that's a fair point. However, if you take millennials as a whole, as a group, it is my opinion
Your
that there is
millennials
a
were born from
generation.
1980 to 94.
And
Gen Xers are 1965 to 1979. Boomers are 1946 to 1964.
So if you
Sorry.
take millennials as a whole, it does seem like a weak generation, but also it seems like a generation of significant contrast. Because as you have just described, the people here are not weak or anything like that. So there is a huge contrast and significant difference from the mainstream millennials. Probably much more contrast than previous generations.
But does anyone identify as a millennial? Like anyone?
What does it mean to be a millennial? If you're born from those years to those years, then yeah, sure, I guess
No,
I'm a
I
millennial.
literally just said the stigma around being millennials is that they're lazy, they're weak, they're stupid, they're super lazy, that they want everything handed to them, that they're entitled.
Hasn't every older generation said that
all-
about every younger generation, though?
Okay, but
No,
I
I
say
don't
that about
agree.
millennials all the time.
You are a millennial.
I know.
And
I
that title was given to us, so we didn't self-identify as that. As
Exactly. That's what
Uh,
I.
Given
just
to us.
just
We
just think
didn't
about the
choose-
guys who identify themselves as the greatest generation and then call everyone else fat and lazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're also
was-
the ones that killed more than previous generations as well.
Okay, so here's my question. Can
It's
someone
pretty great.
be black and not identify as black? Is there a difference between being something and
Rachel
identifying as
Dolezal.
something?
Well, that's the kind of the play on words I used earlier. It's not only identifying as something, it's identifying with something. Now, you can identify as a millennial, but can you identify with being one?
I mean, objectively, I'm sorry, no, objectively, that's not the right phrase. A bunch of people agreed to use this term to describe this age group, which I objectively fall into, whether or not the parameters and attributes they assign to that thing actually are attributes I have is or is not the case depending on the attributes.
I think that people attributed these aspects of millennials because of their preconceived notions of what their generation represented, and that they think that the generation beyond them, their children and their grandchildren, exhibit a much broader spectrum of freaking attributes that are negative. Because of course you're going to notice people's negative behavior better than their good behavior. You know what I mean? And that's probably why they get that sense, just spoiled little brat kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yep, very much so. Plus the economy and culture being what it is right now, you can
certain
expect that people will ascribe some aspects or some results of that to laziness or whatever. So there is also that. In that perception of the generation will depend on the environment and situation the generation is acting in.
Do you think the generation that built the Transcontinental Railroad thought that they were better than the people who were able to use the Transcontinental Railroad? Oh, look at those spoiled brats, just taking the train and taking advantage of it and not caring that all this effort went into it. Look at those stupid brats.
Look, it's true that every generation looks down on others.
Yeah.
Here's something I
They
want
the
to.
generation work harder, or that they have more value because they've got more experience.
It's the common trope, right? When I was your age, I had to walk to school barefoot uphill both ways in 8 foot of snow. It's not anything new.
Okay.
Except that there's still snow, and there's
Can I just point something out real quick? A lot of the lazy entitled notion that have been put on us. I'm going to use us right now because I'm going to choose to identify as a millennial for the second. Is that we're lazy and we want everything handed to us. But that was a system set up by the previous generations by literally making everything incredibly much more affordable.
Right. They invented the internet
by the socialist parents. Their parents were the ones in college who were demanding everything be free.
Well, no. We actually did the math, and everything is far more affordable than it was back then. Like everything's more expensive, but much more affordable. So we can actually afford things much easier. Plus, the debt system that they set up behind us. That's my point. Is that they set up an entire debt system for us to be able to grab our credit cards and buy whatever we want, whenever we want. And then
my point was that they're saying that, oh, you want all this stuff for free. It's like it's the same exact thing they were saying when they were the same age.
Yep.
It's the same shit. They just grew up and realized that no, if I actually want it, I'm gonna have to work for it. And then they're expecting their kids to just realize that instantly, even though at the same time or at the same age, they were making the same stupid demands.
I would like to point out that the students that are so right now, if you were the youngest millennial would be 23 right now.
Yeah.
Which is actually older. Well, I guess it's the equivalent of a fourth or fifth year of undergraduate. So a fourth or fifth year of college or something. So the protesters who have been protesting and doing all the things on college campuses are actually the younger generation, technically. They would be the Gen
a
X.
lot of that stuff is led by the juniors and seniors, and this stuff's been going on since 2013. So it's
that's
been
true. Okay, so that's true. Okay.
The next generation's going to do it too.
I think they call those Gen Y, by the way, Siggy.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Or Gen Z? Which one is it?
Gen Z is the one after millennials. They are younger.
Yeah, Gen Z are the ones that are now teens.
Is there a Gen Y?
I think Gen Y is what came before the baby boomers.
It's the
Gen Y is
the millennials are Gen Y.
If you are Generation Y, let's see if this would be.
No, you're right. You're right. Gen Y is the millennials.
If you're Gen Y, you graduated college when grunge was on the radio. There you go.
Hi guys, I'm here now.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Oh, look, you showed up, Politipop.
And just to bring this up, like we talked about it because I was doing that generational research stuff before. We found that rates of anxiety and depression are higher among millennials. Narcissism is higher among millennials.
Here's actually an interesting point towards the higher rates of depression and the
anxiety too.
Increase anxiety of social media. All of us can relate to the social media aspect of it because almost all of us here are are completely under false identities. Every single one of us are, except for maybe one person, but we won't mention who. But no, we're all here under a completely false identity. We choose to identify as these fictional or imaginary characters,
Yes.
creating false personas on the internet, throughout social media, for people to completely follow. How do you guys feel about that?
Feels good, man.
Yep, privacy feels good. Allows
Is that a
to
1,000?
say much more than I would comfortably be able to say in the open.
Is that a 1,000 degree nickel ball?
Yes, something like that. Mark, what is your avatar of?
Who, me?
No,
Mark.
Yeah, I can guarantee it's a 1,000 degree nickel ball.
No, not exactly. It's a ball of plutonium, the radioactive material that's glowing red hot because it's radioactive so much.
Fascinating.
So close, but no cigar.
So what are we talking about here, guys? Come on.
Well, we're still going on about identity. We kind of
what
went
part
off
what part of we have we got on? I haven't been here.
Hold on. Okay, we established roughly how old everybody is. I think you're the youngest person in the room now.
Who,
How
me?
How old are you?
I'm 22.
Yeah, you're officially the youngest person in the room, and I think you're actually out of the millennial range.
Yeah, I'm a Gen Zer apparently.
There you go. You're the first Gen Zer. Do you identify as a Gen Zer?
I always thought I was a millennial, but Siggy told me the other day that it was a certain range. So I fall in but I'm like a tweener. Like I could identify as either, but I'd rather be a Gen Zer than I am a millennial.
Well, then that's the thing we're saying. I was asking if any of us actually identify with what apparently it means to be a millennial, according to the news. A lazy, self-entitled, piece of shit who hasn't had to work hard for anything in their lives.
Mm.
So, what are the tropes surrounding your Gen Z, Gen X?
We're the most conservative group to ever come up since Reagan.
Well, I can see your avatar doesn't have tits on it, so that seems pretty conservative.
It's got man tits.
What about of your generation? You honestly believe that's true of your generation?
I can't hear what you're saying. You're like cutting out for me.
Do you honestly believe that's true?
Do I honestly believe that there's a huge conservative group in my generation? Yeah,
Yes.
I honestly do believe that because I've met people in my generation. And I've also talked to a multitude of all of them. Why do I think that's true?
No, what do they say and do that makes you think that they're conservative?
Like a true conservative, not really anything. They're more right leaning though. I mean, they're not going out of their way and screeching like half of the millennials do. They're not out here, doing the dumb shit that most millennials do. Like they don't go out picketing against Israel or come out and basically calling Trump a Nazi and stuff like that. They actually listen a lot of the times.
Interesting that we're all millennials and none of us kind of do that.
Well,
interesting.
It's a generalization about a group. I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone in here has also voted for Trump too. I mean,
no, I didn't vote for Trump, but my state voted for Trump by 60 some odd %, 69%. So,
Chuck, did you vote for Gary Johnson?
I voted for Trump.
No. I saw Gary Johnson though at the state libertarian convention.
Oh! Did you tell him that he's ruining the party?
Well, I'm from West Virginia. What'd you say?
I said, did you tell him that he's ruining the Libertarian Party?
Yeah. Well, he is.
Yeah, him and the rest of
Peterson. That's what we sent our delegates to vote for. Just can't blame us.
I don't even know what state you're from, Tuck.
West Virginia.
The only state poorer than mine. Okay, that's great. No, I mean you're right. It's a broad generalization whenever I'm talking about millennials, obviously, because most of the people in here voted more right leaning. I'm sure, but looking at college age kids now, I mean, I'm in the college age range, but a lot of the crazy kooky guys are more like seniors and dude, get Mouthy in here. I love this guy. Yeah, but they're more like seniors and juniors comparatively speaking to like freshmen and sophomores. But I think you can also attribute that to
This is an interesting segue. Actually. Before we move on, do you think you identify as anything? Regularly, do you like? Do you think you identify as anything that everyone else in this room wouldn't necessarily identify as?
A libertarian minarchist.
That's a pretty good identity right there.
Yeah, I know.
Care to explain what that means?
Yeah. So a libertarian minarchist is basically it's a libertarian, and it's a few steps removed from ANCAP. It's more of a belief that the government should only run like a small handful of things, because they're obviously ANCAP's like a crazy idea at its center, because it's basically saying like the state can't exist ever. But that doesn't happen without 100% participation. So a minarchist basically is, you want the government, at least in my terms, is you want the government to run roads, court systems, emergency services, the military, and then maybe some form of education system. But I'm more for a voucher that allows people to go to private institutions, because I think it'd make society as a whole smarter. But regardless, that's basically like a minarchist is. Different people have different interpretations of it, obviously, but that's what, in my belief, that's what it is.
Okay. So since we touched up the fact that we talked about the younger generation being more conservative, and we went through his political ideology, what do you guys actually think it means to be a conservative, a liberal, a Democrat? I guess we kind of know what it means to be a Democrat for the most part, because there's a Democrat Party. But people do say we're the most conservative generation. What do you guys think that means?
No, people don't say that. It's just that the studies have shown that more millennials are identifying.
Nobody knows what that identity really means. So let's talk about that. What does it mean?
You don't know what it means when they're identifying as it either, right? So like, there's no definition of conservatism, and then it says how conservative are you? It's just based on whatever their own definition is. So people make up their own definitions and then identify as things.
So you could be socially conservative, you could be fiscally conservative, you could be both, obviously, which there's a large degree of overlap.
Although you'd feel like people who would identify as strongly conservative would know what it is to be strongly conservative. If they didn't, they would go towards the middle.
It's kind of like people don't understand how politics works.
You don't see this guy autistically screeching at me in the fucking live chat?
Yeah.
Also, can you
entertaining.
Can you guys send me the live link, please?
Yeah, hold on.
I've seen a pretty interesting definition for conservatism recently. It sounds convincing to me. It was went more or less along the lines: conservatism is when you consider a family as the building block of society, rather than an individual. So the whole idea was that as long as you build up your society from families, and basically build your policies around families rather than individuals, that would be conservatism in the general sense. What do you think of that?
What is that? That's not more collectivism?
Don't get me wrong. I don't mean like placing good of society as something before more important than good of individuals or anything.
Hold on. How could the good of society come before the good of the individual, and the good of the individual can only come from the good of all individuals? And if all individuals have to be part of a family, unless you think about destroying the family unit altogether and just creating
That was the unspoken assumption behind the idea that a society focused on hyper-individualism would end up destroying families and leading up to completely fragmented society, because it would only cater to individuals. Yeah, I know. Okay. It leads to some strange ideas, but on the other hand, I like the idea that family rather than individual is a basic building block of society.
Well, Trigger, what do you politically identify as? What do you claim you are?
Juden.
What?
Juden.
No, for fuck's sake.
Politically, you're a Jew?
Political Jew.
All right.
Well, if
Clearly.
you look at the Jewish religion, it's very conservative. I don't know why my people decided to vote fucking liberal on everything when they predominantly
Because they all live in Hollywood. That's why. Duh.
The exact opposite all the time, 100% of the time, forever.
Ugh.
Oh,
I'm
oy vey,
staunchly
boy.
conservative.
No, I think.
I'm against public displays of affection. That's how conservative I am. Not just politically.
Doesn't public displays of affection increase fertility in families and all that stuff?
I don't know. But
What?
maybe I'm just promoting white genocide, like the chat seems to think.
Stop promoting white.
Well, no, it's I remember a slight look of disgust when these two gay guys were kissing in public. I had to explain. It's like, no, I get that same look no matter who it is. It has nothing to do with you
I'm
being.
not a fan of that either.
I just don't like public displays of affection.
Were they
There's
making out, or was it just like a peck on the cheek, man?
No, like they were full on kissing. I wouldn't.
Okay,
not
then
like groping and grabbing each other, but you know, a kiss goodbye is obviously not a problem. You know, you show affection because you're parting ways, but
yeah,
just kissing for the sake of swapping saliva, trading diseases and bacteria.
Oh, you see?
Oh,
are you an anti-kisser?
Nah, dude, he's a bug chaser, dude. You bug chaser there, Trigger?
All right.
I'm gonna pass on that. No.
Okay. Hey, Catherine, where have I seen you from?
Uh-oh.
I'm in your server, dude.
You're in my server?
This isn't a dating app, all right?
Ooh, lad.
Yeah, this is about like
I'm happily taking my man.
Not where you.
What do you identify as there, lad?
I'm center right.
Center right. Okay. Center right
I'm more
top
of
or
a
center right bottom?
libertarian.
Okay. Center right bottom.
Well, you know, take top once in a while.
Oh my god.
You opened the door.
Woo!
No, I had something to say from earlier. Can you really think of anybody in your life that doesn't have attributes from both sides of the spectrum in their political beliefs? I can't either. I myself have some liberal beliefs.
Yeah, I have a friend named Bronx Blogger who's not. I got a friend named Bronx Blogger who's just a full-on super left guy.
So that leads me to make the statement that, like, can you really define conservative and liberalism because of that? Because
Well, that's technically what I was asking. Is there a real conservative and liberal
I don't think so.
perspective? Is there a real right and left? Can you actually identify as one or the other fully?
Yes.
Well, if you look up the words, they have definitions, so they do have characteristics that have been agreed upon by.
Okay, but again, we literally just mentioned that most people are willing to take on conservative views on certain things, or at least right-leaning views, while left-leaning views on others.
Okay, let me say this: taking some views from X political position does not a full political position make. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Okay, but
and who determines what these things are defined as? Does a group of individuals decide one day, well, we want to make the definition of this word to be this? Or does it?
Well, you look up different definitions of the people who write the dictionaries. I don't know. How do people define words? How does she makes the decision.
According to most sources, the dictionary is written by based on the common and most frequent use of the word, which is why the word literally got changed to mean figuratively. Is it figuratively? I think it's figuratively. I don't know. I'm just adding the term classical to everything I say now because.
Are you a classical centrist?
No, I'm not a centrist.
Where's my boy at? Hang on. Let me pop my damn butt in here. Hang on.
Lucky, you realize that at some point you will have to say classical with the classical prefix. So in classical,
I'm already saying classical racist because clearly racism means something different now. So classical racist, classical leftist, also classical liberty. I have a whole thing I just add classical to now. Maybe more things I should add classical to. Like I'm a classical human.
Or like classically retarded.
What's the name? Some of the anti-theists have now called them. Some of the anti-theists have now called themselves like fucking what's the word for like classical humanists or some gay shit like that.
Sure. There you go.
They call themselves humanism.
I'm a
They're really-
humanist because
Yeah.
that works. As they bumble and fumble over how they're not a religion because they're a bunch of fucking dogmatic sycophants. But what do I know?
No, we kept talking about the fact that the people identifying as something that's attributing to a negative belief is retarded. That's the opposite of identifying to something. That's just like I'm glad that the term anti-theist exists. At least we know they're against theists. They're not atheists anymore. They don't just not believe in God. They're actually against people who believe in God. So most atheists are actually just anti-theist or anti-theisms.
Yeah, they
Well,
didn't
that's
come
what
to like
atheists
the
do.
theological
That's a bit of a
conclusion that
stretch.
God
Whoa,
doesn't exist.
guys! Fucking one at a time.
That's a
Oh,
bit
don't
of
worry, I call first.
You triggered everybody.
I'm sorry, I
So
said
they
first.
identify themselves solely by the fact that they're anti-something and have no more depth to their belief than that.
atheists. Wait, here's the
Don't want
thing.
to get drugged to church on Sundays by their parents, and they didn't like their pastor.
Did the pastor
Yeah.
touch them?
It's not even that. Like half of them, yeah, exactly. Half the freaking anti-theists I've talked to have had some of the worst religious experiences I've ever heard of in my life. I had one girl who told me she was like, "Oh yeah, I was in a cult when I was like 3, and my mother beat me because of X thing." I was like, "Are you serious?" Like, what? No wonder you're an anti-theist.
As well.
Maybe they like the victim points.
They absolutely. Oh shit! Let's see if I can find a segue to the through this.
Invite the
There was a
commie in,
study
or the
released
National
recently
Socialists.
where they found out that a large percentage, a large portion of students nowadays cyberbully themselves to make sure that not only they identify themselves as a victim, but other people identify them as victims as well.
Nice.
I need some proof of this.
I will fucking link you the article at some point. After this chat is over, because I'm not gonna go dig it up.
I
I'm
feel
pretty
like
sure a
this
bunch of us read
Is
it.
this talking about identity? Or are we like what's
This was
going
gonna
on?
end up into the Hitler did nothing wrong stream. I'm just telling you now. This is hour 1. I give it till hour 3, and we're gonna be talking about how Hitler did nothing wrong.
Hitler did not.
I told you what he did wrong. He targeted the wrong group. It's his only mistake.
He should have targeted a communist.
So
Lucky, what's the article in USA Today?
the article was probably in The Wire, as from what I remember it. Hold on.
Magic is
Check
autistically reading at
underneath
you.
the link, motherfucker. Check underneath it. I sent you the god fucking damn hangout link. Underneath the link to this.
Are you blocking the
Why is
Nazi?
HEHE Productions here?
It's not.
That's definitely not.
Yeah, I guarantee you that's not the actual H3.
Yeah, H3 is not pushing Hitler propaganda. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
If you did, it's because he came to support his fellow Jew. Am I right?
In
Wait,
considering his-
Also, it says H3 Productions Mark II. Also, Catherine, you probably need to F5 because you got a bad connection.
I know. It's douchey.
It's not getting any better. It hasn't been getting any better over the past couple of months, and I'm not sure why.
Is it like that
Might
one on
be-
Discord?
Might be all the port. Close Discord.
No, I'm not in Discord.
Close everything else. Just everything else.
It is cool.
Turn the oven off. Turn off the microwave. Turn off the toaster oven.
Freaking government.
Turn off the breast pump.
Being apparently being pro-Israel is
It's
equivalent
triggering everyone.
pro-
Look, we all know.
Okay.
We all know that the alt-right is now the new enemy since we defeated all the SJWs and the George Soroses of the world.
Except
So
for the
now
actual
we're going
George
after all the people that identify as being white and are really proud of it.
Like, you know what's better than having a Jew there controlling Israel in a very strategic location? Let's have another Islamic nation there controlling that region. Then let's see how that works. Yeah. Okay. Flawless logic. Fantastic.
A pro-Russian Muslim nation.
Yeah.
A pro-Russian Muslim nation. I wonder which. Siggy, would you happen to know which nation that is?
A pro-Russian Muslim nation. Iran.
Like in
Yeah.
most of them.
I don't know. I feel like Trigger was being pretty obvious there. You didn't really need me on that one.
Iran, maybe.
I think so.
don't know.
Actually, I don't know.
Yes, it's it's a fact.
Wait,
yes.
so Russia's against Israel?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
Not really. Well,
not
yes and
for
no.
like
no.
ideological reasons.
Just cause for fun?
Strategic regional reasons.
Oh, okay.
Like they don't care about the Jews per se.
What's up, Magic Bubblehead? Are you gonna talk?
Hey, Magic.
Yes, sir.
What do you identify as, Magic?
A trap king?
Darwinian overlord.
Oh God, no, not this guy. No.
Is he from your server too? Did you bring him in here?
No. He's not from my server. He's from Trigger's server. Please, God, no. Why did you do this, Tuck?
Trigger, why did you bring this guy from your server over here?
What guy? What guy?
Oh God.
Wait.
I'm
Magic,
accepting of all the guys.
Who did that?
Magic, do you identify as a man? Or a
Yes.
guy? Okay.
More of a man. I'm classified as a man because I'm over 18 years old.
I am a man because I am Quebecian.
Magic is actually a really interesting case. I'm kind of glad he's here because he doesn't identify as Canadian or as a Quebecian and mostly not French. He identifies as American.
I don't care what he identifies as.
Oh, it's
Are you sure?
irrelevant. It's irrelevant. I'm still from the Leafland, so yeah. Technically Canadian.
Yeah, I'd identify as Canadian.
Technically from the continent of North America, which make me technically American too.
No.
Fancy that.
No.
Yep.
No.
We're from the we're from the northernest America. Americas. The northernest.
Really, you're the northernest America?
Yep. The northernest of Americas.
Okay. I would like to point you.
We're the north of America.
Alaska?
No, not really.
No, that's right, because you got those Nunavut Islands or what the fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how Alaska ended up along
Yeah.
And if you go far enough north from Canada, you get to Russia.
Why does
So-
Alaska identify as American?
By the way,
Because we fucking
Alaska.
bought it, and it's ours, and they don't want to leave because
Gifted.
we're awesome.
Gifted.
Do you remember how many times, like...
I think you're forgetting, like, they have like vast swaths of like gold and oil, and they're probably like the most mineral rich state in the entire country. But yeah, let's talk about how we bought them.
Can someone explain how the alt-right got into my chat room?
Whoa, hold up. I'm the president of the alt-right still. That's one thing I still identify as, the president of the alt-right.
So control your people.
Yeah, can you tell fuck the Jew World Order that I love that name and I'm stealing Jew World Order and I'm making t-shirts? Like a Jew. I'm gonna capitalize on it.
That's pretty Ferengi of you. I like it.
Oh, hey, Dark Punjabi's here. My people are in the chat.
It's
Tristan
just
Blaze
like
and Dark Punjabi.
The Guy Fawkes masks. Everyone's like, yeah, anti-capitalism now. Let's go buy these Guy Fawkes masks.
What is that?
Remember whatever the fuck the quote is from that dumbass.
5th of November?
Whatever.
Yeah.
I don't
I
watch
guess
shitty movies. Sorry.
It was a really good comic book.
Well, I'm related to Christopher and Jonathan, right? The people who actually participated in that plot.
All other white nations are occupied by Israel.
What?
Okay. Let's go over
Who said
that. Let's go over this. Okay.
Whoa. You know what? Let's stop paying attention to the people in the chat. I don't have super chat, but this would be a good opportunity to have them super chat us fucking comments. Well, we can't hold the stream on your channel now, can we?
Sure they can. Sure you can.
Anyway,
sorry, I would like to make a correction. I would like to make a correction.
This is not that kind of stream.
I don't like mislabeling people, so I just want to do this correction here. Fuck the Jew World Order is a Nazi. He's not alt-right because the alt-right is alt-kike. So, sorry for calling you alt-right. There you go.
Oh yeah, nothing
Damn, that was so
nothing
much
better than
superior.
socialism. Am I right, boys? Because that works so well.
Guys,
Just call them
as long as I put it,
autism.
This is
as long as I put capitalism in front of it, it's okay. Okay? It'll be okay.
Better throw all my people at the Americans and Russians, because that's going to keep them away from my fatherland. Oh, Lord. Oh, no, the Fuhrer's getting very antsy. Better throw some more boys out there. What's that? We don't have any more men? Let's throw children at them.
Or just make fake accounts so you can pretend like you're more than one person, even though your spelling and writing skills are exactly the same as like what you wrote like 10 other times.
Jen,
It's a bunch of inbred cousins, Jen. All right? They all have the same father, uncle, brother.
God damn it.
It's the one real white guy in the family. Well, let's all breathe with that one guy.
No, he's actually black. The mom's white.
Not Nazi, National Socialist.
Nazi's
no.
a hate term. Wow.
I'm pretty sure Nazis are what the fucking Germans identified as.
Well, he's not a worker. He's on welfare, living in a trailer park. So technically, I guess he wouldn't be a
Are most
Nazi.
socialists, technically, but
Can we make guesses on how heavy he is too? Like what his favorite dinner is?
Bean count, do it.
Obviously,
Self-identifies as
it's a Hungry Man microwave dinner.
that he got on discount for Walmart prices.
Yep.
Let's
We got it on sale because it's 1 day expired.
Maybe it's Dollar Tree version of it.
Oh, there you go. The kid cuisine. He likes the kid cuisines. That's what it is.
Lucky, a quick question.
Let's get some of these Nazi LARPers in here. Here we go. There's some.
Lucky,
right there.
Lucky, would you mind if I swap with Hero Morgs? He wanted.
There we go. Look at the boys.
People can come and go as they please. I kind of made this a very open invite. In fact, I love Hitler can absolutely join the chat if he wants to. Someone wants to send him a link.
I'd love to rail him.
Yeah, guys.
Well, if they want to donate money to my Patreon, I'll make a pro National Socialism video.
Correcting it.
Oh my god, I love Nazi LARPers. They're my favorite people on earth.
Do we even have?
Hey,
room
Hero
here?
Morgs.
Hi.
And I don't accept food stamps though, so it's got to be real money.
Who's
You
that?
decide to show your face and bring the kid in.
Hey,
Oh shit.
baby.
Okay,
Whose baby is that? Why is there a baby? Oh my god, that's such a cute baby. Hi, baby.
Oh god, they're going baby crazy. Shut it down, Goy.
See, if you were straight, that would be the best thing is having the baby around.
Oh.
I don't know how babies work on gay dudes though. So sorry.
Well,
Don't they all want
probably
one?
best breastfeed.
Hold on, most of the gay guys I know absolutely want kids.
Do they?
No, they just say that so then they get gay married. It's like, oh
Yeah,
yeah, I totally want kids, you guys. You should support my right to be married. Yeah.
Yeah, as I said, I used to hear a lot of gay guys be like, I would love to get married, but it's against the law. Now it's legal and they're single. Because they got called out on it. Their lover was like, time to get married. They're like, shit, I think it's time to see other people.
Yeah.
See, so he says that we need to become National Socialists. Can you give me maybe
donate to my Patreon and I'll consider
it. I would be a socialist, but I'm financially illiterate. So.
Give me some money or something, and maybe I'll consider it.
Hey, that's my shtick.
Shut up, Jim.
See, thank you for recognizing that.
Okay. Anyways, aside from that, give me 5 reasons why I should become a National Socialist.
Okay, this is absolutely
your point.
We definitely moved away from the identity thing.
Listen, I was the one who tried to steer it back. Then you guys started talking about stupid
No,
shit.
actually, you know what? I'll allow it. I'll allow it. If people want to give us reasons to become Nazis, I'd like to hear why we should identify as Nazis.
Yeah.
Let's hear them.
Hitler. Did they now? Can you
Get me on the
pull it up?
Jews all the time.
Mourning the ancient truth. Let's see this. Mourning.
Yeah, this is actually on topic because it is an identity stream, and you have National Socialist identifying as National Socialist.
Oh look, it's a fucking dumbass bullshit fucking propaganda piece by a fucking guy who identifies as a National Socialist. You're kidding me.
Thank you. Yes, we know Lachlan is cute.
Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at this dumb shit. Hang on. I want you guys to look at this idiotic shit with me real quick. This is what this guy's telling me to look up. This shit right here. This is a fucking the Waffen SS technical information. Read us a article on the Waffen SS here. Copyright. Nazi girl. This
I will be
definitely.
right back to get on enjoy my ass leaving the room.
This definitely isn't propaganda, there, lad, is it? Okay. Get the fuck out of here, National Socialist, dumbass.
Obviously, it's not.
Fucking stupid. End white genocide. Maybe if you had more children, maybe that would stop. No.
Hold on. What was that part about George Takei? Can I see that?
The part about George Takei, I can read it off for you. Let's see.
Please.
I mean, they do want to kill white people.
George Takei of Star Trek fame was one of the many victims of America's racist policy. Here's his account of his experiences in American concentration. No one gives a shit about that fucking rapist. So
why would I give a fuck about George Takei?
Send your children to the enemy. Wow. Yeah, because the American government's a zog. It's a fucking zog. I'll tell you what, boys. Let me tell you something. The globalists are going to control everything. It's a goddamn the Jewish world order.
Alex Jones is right.
I'm white genociding
I don't
everybody.
understand why people can't feel the fact that Alex Jones is right.
Hey, I wish there was a white genocide. I'd be leading the charge, guys.
Can there just be a world genocide, please?
I mean, they do want to kill white people.
We're not gonna
Guys.
stop with white people though. We're
Guys,
taking
we're
out
not woke
everybody.
enough. We're not woke enough for this
Not
crowd.
woke enough?
We are not woke enough for this
I mean,
crowd.
You know what
We're
is
not
woke?
smart.
Let the fucking geography information clue in on there. But I don't know if you know this. Population rates are dropping all around the world. They're ding dong. Everyone's having less babies.
We're talking about proportion.
Proportion for what?
Something's going down, but another one's going down more.
Okay.
It's like if you looked at two
I
stocks,
just-
and
I
you
just
see
had a really
this
good
stock's
idea.
going down and this stock's going down, but this stock is going down more sufficiently than the other one. So that is what proportion is.
You know what you do?
Do you guys want to know? Do you guys all want to know why I've got such a squeaky chair? Because now I can show you.
All right, let's see it.
So I have a blanket on the seat because it's got a massive hole and it's held together with a screwdriver. Just don't
Jesus
So,
Christ.
yeah. I just put the screwdriver back.
Hitler was not racist. Okay. 18 pages of truth written by a racist. Oh God, you're killing me. Please stop. I can't deal with the cancer of socialism. Please stop.
Why is it always back to socialism at this point? I know
You
you're
don't have time to educate us. Okay.
I want to know why these people are national socialists in countries that don't support them. Why? You're setting yourself to get fucked up.
Wait,
Why don't you all move to like Poland or like Russia or somewhere where like you can all
Poland is
consolidate and then
socialist.
make like a
Russia
No.
doesn't have socialism.
No.
There's
I'm
still
saying like
recovery
let's
from the
no.
Neither is Poland.
No, I'm saying just why don't you all just move to like one nation, and then you can all make a party, and then we'll see how your ideas work because you're gonna fail.
I
every
nominate
single
Sweden.
time.
I pick
Nominate
Sweden.
I nominate Sweden too.
Cool, lad. Let's see how that goes. Yeah, because you guys definitely yeah. I could tell how good socialism and communism work by the amount of people who kick their ass in wars.
It hasn't been tried right. Once you get rid of all the minorities, it'll work fine.
You get rid of the minority because there's no white people on welfare.
Exactly.
As long as it's
I
only
get it.
white people.
Just because it's always white people on welfare who are telling you that, whatever. You know.
Oh, you're trying to tell me that there's white people on welfare? Wait, you're saying the majority of people on welfare are white? Oh shit! No, you didn't, nigga.
No, they're just getting reparations for losing the Civil War. That's what it is. It's not welfare.
it's reparations. It's reparations for the South.
Yep, exactly.
I mean, to be honest, the North did kind of fuck us, but whatever.
They feel like they didn't
Reconstruction.
deserve it.
Reconstruction was a hell of a drug.
That's what you get for voting in Democrats.
It's not my fault.
Okay,
Anyways,
so
where were we
clearly
sins of
we
the father
understand
and
what
not
it
the sins
means
of
to
the
be
son.
a white supremacist, Nazi sympathizer. But
What?
Right?
What?
He's just trying to end the white genocide, right?
That poor white.
I thought about perpetuating the white race, but then race doesn't exist. So I'm just going to be in my mixed race, or as you guys would call it, mixed race relationship. Probably gonna have a bunch of babies, and her Persian family is absolutely going to love and support it.
All the babies.
All the babies.
You're attributing to white genocide. You should be
I
ashamed.
am contributing to all the white
Yes.
genocide, mostly because they don't consider me white. So
Why is
I
that?
don't really give a
Because
shit.
you're Russian.
Because I'm a Slav, and therefore that makes me not white.
No. Don't you know that they take all people who have the white skin color because they're too shitty to become actual.
I will highly
socialists.
disagree with you on that because I've tried to join quite a few white supremacist
Why?
Discord servers because I wanted to
Why?
see what it was all about. And the
They-
majority of them asked me if where I come from, and the moment I told them I'm a Slav, they kicked me out.
That's okay. Well, here's the thing: is
Slavs
because
are not white,
but they accept the Irish. Fucking hypocrites.
they accept the Irish, they accept
Well,
Catholics, they accept.
To be fair, they
there's a
only
lot of.
accepted.
What do you mean? There's a lot of Eastern Europeans that are in the fucking alt right. What are you talking about, dude?
But the
So
alt
white
right is not the same
supremacists.
thing as white supremacists.
Caucasus
Yeah,
Mountains.
it's a different group.
Unless you listen to CNN.
Dumb shit. Whatever.
The problem is that again, can I on okay?
Remember when alt-right just meant alternative to the mainstream Republican Party?
No, I never remember that because I remember the alt right being retarded the entire
I
time.
remember the end of 2016 and the beginning of 2017. That's when it was, right? Because I was being called alt right,
Yeah.
Irish
and most of
alt-right.
us YouTubers were being called alt right, and now alt right means white supremacist.
And all the YouTubers are like, the alt-right's pieces of shit, even though when the Washington Journal Post writes about me, they're totally going to call me alt-right.
You know, I just
The
think
Washington Journal Post. I love that.
Identity thing.
I love Washington Journal Post.
Oh.
Wait,
This all really ties back into the whole identity thing.
Does it?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Loki's Russian, right?
No.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have
No,
white
hold on,
skin.
hold on. Am I actually Russian though? Because I was born in a USSR, a socialist republic fucking union. I was born in a union, not even a real country anymore. Not a country that even exists anymore. I was not born in the country that exists anymore. That's where it was all socialist. They weren't. I guess they were technically Russian people who overthrew their leaders to create communism and starve 100 million people. But again, but can I truly identify as a socialist, as someone from the USSR, as a Russian? I can't identify as a Russian. This is my problem. This is why I'm having this live stream. I can't really identify as white because most of the people that identify themselves as white think I'm not white. Especially since I have dark hair and dark eyes. They're like, no, definitely not, because we like the blonde-haired and the blue-eyed people.
Yep.
So
Would
the
that be like
clear.
saying that Italians aren't white or Greeks are not white.
No,
or
they
people
absolutely
from
don't think Italians or Greeks or anyone are white.
Southern
Spanish,
Italians
Portuguese.
technically are not white according to
No.
them, and neither are the Greeks,
But
neither
then
are
that's
any
fine.
I
Balkans.
also have a dark
Well, here's
complexion
the-
and much
White
darker
people
than my
here.
Persian girlfriend. So
Well,
fucking figure that shit out.
The Balkans are a region that's very heavily contested by both
Because
parties.
it's the Jew in you.
That's
Sure,
the Jew,
sure.
the Jew and who?
And
And me, I
Loki.
guess.
Yeah, that's why you're darker than me.
Disgusting.
They can sense it.
That's exactly why my Ukrainian grandparents is exactly why I'm darker than you.
You a Jew.
Anyway,
Ukrainian white?
the country I was born in no longer exists. The people that ran it no longer. Technically, Putin used to be part of the USSR fucking secret intelligence, and he's running the country now, so that's kind of fine. But I don't have a citizenship to it. The reason I don't have a citizenship to it is because my parents had to give up my citizenship to go to Israel, where again I was not identified as Jewish. I was identified as an outsider and actually picked on and beat up quite often because I wasn't fucking wearing the matzah hat or had the fucking strings hanging out the bottom of my pants,
Hate non-Jews.
or wear the curlers around my fucking head.
Jews don't.
So
What are you talking about? You're talking about this the Jewy stuff.
yeah, all the Jewish stuff.
Okay. I don't know
So
anything
when
much
in
about
Israel.
Jewy stuff.
Yeah, so when I lived in Israel, I got picked on and I got beat up a lot because apparently I didn't look
You
Jewish
moved to
enough.
Israel. That's your first problem.
Okay, once again, I'll reiterate the exact same point I just made.
I'm
To
just- I'm
escape
I'm
the
joking.
Soviet
I'm
Union.
Loki, I'm joking. Oh my
All right.
god.
Also, apparently, I got
Jeez.
beat up. My parents are reminding me that I got beat up a lot because I wasn't circumcised. Apparently, the kids in Israel really needed to look at your dick to make sure you're circumcised because that's how they identify Jewish.
Well,
there may be a lot of blocked out memories that I do not have that might one day come back in the form of alien abduction.
That Catherine is a very funny article by Salon about how they're liberal because they're autistic.
I must read this.
All right.
I'm a liberal.
You're also not
I'm
a citizen
autistic.
of Canada either.
I'm also not a citizen of Canada. I never bothered to get my citizenship because I really don't care enough to get it. I was never proud of being Canadian because I was never taught to be proud to be Canadian, and therefore
So
never
you
had.
identify as Canadian?
I don't identify as Canadian.
He's a nomad.
No. The majority of my cultural understanding of what it means to be part of the place I'm at has come from television. Hollywood is my teacher of what it means to be human in North America. Because clearly the Jews didn't teach me how to be one of them because that involved beating me up. The country I was born in no longer exists and is a broken ideology that apparently based on broken ideology I want no part of. So my parents literally fled.
Loki, did you not look at Jewish history in the world? Getting beat up is a part of being a Jew.
Yeah, but then it's getting beat up by Jews.
Well, yeah, you get it from all sides.
Sure. Whatever the fuck it is. The guilt, the beating up, the crucifixions, the stabbings, getting ripped off. Well, whatever. The point is that I am not really a Canadian, especially since in school they specifically push this one narrative where we are not like America. They love to say we are not like America. America is a melting pot where they conform and force everybody to become the same. And conform, basically. While Canada is a tossed salad where we have different flavors all over the place. Which I have always asked why that's better. And they said because we have communities of different people. And again, I would ask why is that better? And no one could explain to me. outside of the fact that we have multiculturalism. So it literally gave me no culture to emulate or to associate with when the entire country's point is to cuck itself out and give its culture to the other cultures around it. While also surrounding itself with a culture of giving America shit. Since we have a very liberal country, we continuously give America shit for being overly capitalist. Like, I remember making fun of America for its national food being the hamburger.
Where is this at?
Yeah, but I bet you eat a lot of hamburgers, don't you?
I love hamburgers.
Is this in Kanakistan or is it in Israel?
No, this is in Canada. I've been in Canada since I was 8, and this is all
run by a bunch of people who think that the Queen's still a monarch.
I agree.
Nobody actually thinks that.
Okay, I have this joke.
Right?
I'm gonna repeat it. I know you motherfucker. What?
Look at her money.
Look at your money.
Anyway.
That doesn't mean anybody thinks that.
They don't think she's a monarch.
No,
Can you explain to me why she has a special?
Queen.
Can you explain to me why she has a special person appointed for her to live in Canada?
Yeah, the governor general.
The governor general. Yeah.
But
she's dead. Yeah, she's definitely not a part of your government.
She only comes in under certain circumstances.
Only to override if you guys vote for someone for prime minister she doesn't like or something.
Yeah, I keep hoping that she'll come to her senses and just be like, this Justin guy that you guys picked is a complete fail.
You guys have to stop calling the Canadian dollar. Call it exactly what the fuck it is. It's called a loonie.
Yes.
Okay, just because we got a $2 fucking coin, that does not mean we have the dollar. We have the goddamn loonie.
You're right. You're right. It's just monopoly money all around.
It is monopoly money. Have you seen it? We got red and blue.
I know. I have some. You got red, blue, green, purple.
And then in the middle of the night, you don't accidentally leave a 20 instead of a $1 bill. See, there's advantage.
Who has that problem? Who doesn't look at their money good enough to determine what they're?
If you're really drunk.
That has never happened.
I have never once had that happen to me.
And this is why I only use digital currency. Because if I see a mistake being made, I go, cancel transaction, bitches. And I get my money back. Fucking call the credit card company and be like, somebody stole my credit card.
But can you do that at a pub?
Yes, I can do it anywhere. Cancel transaction, credit card stolen. And it's only stolen... What?
I did it in the Philippines.
You got to steal his phone too.
Wait, and our money is plastic now, so it's more durable.
Plastic, fireproof, smells like bacon when you scratch it. I don't give a shit. It's fake money. It's garbage. It's literally garbage fucking money where that they want to pretend it means something. We have the Queen. What is this? Here's the $50 bill. There's some fucking guy on it. I don't know who this guy is. What does the money say on it?
I think he's holding his child hostage. Kidding.
W.L. Mackenzie King, Prime Minister. I don't even know when he was Prime Minister. I don't know who he is. I've never learned about him. Fuck the Canadian education system.
Because you didn't pay attention in school.
Because literally they told me I can't fail. Why would I pay attention? The education system told me I can't fail. If I don't want to do remedial classes, I don't have to. They'll fast me anyway. Why would I pay attention?
Canadian Prime Ministers.
Which
Who
one?
cares? He did some stuff.
William Lau Mackenzie King?
He
like somewhere in the middle.
Sorry, Jen. I'm looking at $50 bills.
Of course. I'll keep looking at $50 bills. You should be more excited if they're brown, you know?
He was the prime minister for like 20-something years.
Good for him. What did he do?
No, that's why he's on the money, because he was.
He was from 1984 to 19. Holy shit, that's a long time. Oh no, that's how long he lived. Never mind.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is I don't believe I have a real identity. I pride myself on the fact that I'm willing to change my mind when new evidence comes up. I don't identify myself as any particular political party. I don't believe any political party has my best interests at heart. I believe they only have their own best interests at heart. I'll fucking do whatever I can and pretend to be a shape-shifting fucking god creature on the internet to fucking trick people into believing nonsense I say. Who gives a shit? So I'm here and I want to talk to you guys about identity. What do you believe? What do you identify as? What? And eventually I want to get down to pride if we could. Why are so many people proud of who they are? And why are white people not allowed to be proud?
Well, white people aren't allowed to be proud because white people, on average, are pretty much the only race that is 50% or more against socialism.
Okay, so Pat thinks that white people should be happy to be white because they're against socialism.
Or it could be because they conflate history.
Is Hero Morg still here?
Yeah,
he's the best and we have all the resources, so we have to be shamed our
The
resources.
reason white people can't be proud is because they say I don't know who says, but someone says. I don't know who they is.
So
But on
Simon
average,
says white people shut up.
But on
Simon
average,
says
white people seem to be doing better in the world.
Yeah.
Overall.
Why though?
I'm here.
Well, that's a whole different conversation. But usually, if you're doing well, I guess it's looked down upon to brag about it. I don't know.
Which brings up another stat.
Hi, Hero.
I didn't know if anyone could hear me or not.
No, you were muted. It took me a minute. I'm like, who's this guy with the kid? I'm like, oh, wait, that's Mark. He's got a little kiwi.
He's shown us his face and dick plenty of times. How do you not recognize him?
I haven't been there when he's done that.
So what was your question for him, Loki?
Well,
what is Hero? What do you identify as? Was that it?
Yes. I want to get the fucking opinion from everybody. This is why I invited people to this stream. This is why I'm having this stream.
Well,
Okay.
I'm a guy. I'm a guy. I identify as a male. I have a penis and I like it, and I'm not getting it chopped off.
Yeah.
Also, on that note, don't the Kiwis have the queen on their money too?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
So why do you
And
guys
Australia and some other fucking place that I forgot the name
Well,
of.
we're still our government pays tribute to the Queen each year.
But we don't really do that in Canada, or at least
Well, are
we
you
don't actively do it.
Aware of it, or are you just unaware of it?
I can name all the commonwealths of the crown if you would like.
I mean, yeah, we were, but I mean,
No, you.
maybe it's just a long-standing joke with us. It's just like, why do we do this? I don't know. We just do it. What?
Why are we giving away all this money?
I don't know why.
I can name all the cuck white countries.
I mean, we don't even get revenue from people visiting our country for it. I mean, fuck that.
Yep.
Hero, do you identify as anything else? Outside of being male?
He identifies as a chair.
white male who
No,
refuses.
I'm just a guy.
No, guys, like that's not even okay. Okay, this is the whole point of talking about identity. Do you
And
take
I'm
into
just a
consideration
girl in the
your
world.
identity?
Sorry.
That you are a gay man.
Yeah, I'm a gay man.
Does that mean anything?
That's pretty much it. Very vanilla in the rainbow area.
For all the
like-
Canadians,
What?
I'd like to clarify. You pay $1.53 per person to the Crown, Canada.
Aha! Suck a dick, you fucking bitches.
Per how like per year, per day, per
Per year.
what?
Per year
Per
to the
year?
Crown. Yeah.
You little slaves, you are slaves.
Yeah, that's like
You're
60
not even
million.
people.
Yeah, but you have to remember there are 15 Commonwealth countries paying the Crown.
I guess that's where they get their money from.
Yeah.
I know Australia.
Yeah, we don't even get it.
Hashtag not my queen.
I mean, at least in England, they get money back for people visiting their country to see them. But where's our money?
Where's our money? Apparently,
See,
it's
I would
going.
identify someone who likes socks.
Do you like?
I did
socks?
have an overarching point about the whole the white pride thing.
Sure,
What's-
okay.
So, like a lot of the countries that used to be under England, they pay tribute. They have the Queen on their money and all this good stuff, right? They're considered commonwealths, but the United States is not. Like we fought a bloody revolution, we got our freedom, and then came up, and we are the most powerful country in the world. Like Sargon of Akkad made a video about our economic influence over Russia. Like not even militarily, not even aggressively going after them, just some military sanctions. Or just some trade sanctions that we put on them and how much it hurt their economy. It's like we are an extremely powerful country. And we started out as 13, backwater colonies that decided we didn't like the Crown. But the rest of the white colonies didn't do the same thing. So,
13 very different colonies at that. Dutch,
yeah,
English, etc., Irish.
right.
Yeah.
And we're pretty good at the warfare thing too.
Well, conventional warfare anyway.
All warfare.
Every single fucking one.
Convince me otherwise. Guerrilla warfare.
I kicked the shit out of every fucking
that's
person.
literally
We were literally pressured by the fucking people of America to leave Vietnam and Afghanistan and Iraq.
And we were winning.
We were winning every single one of them.
Well, we're winning again. But that's because they untied the people that needed to get it done.
Right, but we understand the fundamentals of fighting guerrilla war.
Yes.
Like we were blindsided by the insurgency in Iraq because apparently the Bush administration thought they would just be so grateful to not have Saddam that it'd be an easy transition. That doesn't mean they don't know how to fight the fight. We had a lot of really ridiculous restrictions. But like if you look at the Battle of Fallujah, when they decided that those restrictions no longer applied to that city, in 11 days there were like, 2,000 and something dead insurgents in 11 days. So, yeah, we understand. We know.
Yep. And the fact that we have the advanced technology helps too. I agree with that.
Yeah. But even when we did,
let's take a look at an old war. In
Oh, you
Vietnam,
can go back to
we killed 500,000 Viet Cong and North Vietnamese soldiers, as opposed to
civilians.
them killing us. We only lost 20,000 Americans and I want to say 40,000 South Vietnamese troops.
Weren't they vicious too?
They were.
My understanding, the Vietnamese, they were super vicious too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a fucking there's a video that's very famous about the South Vietnamese officer who came around and grabbed a prisoner and then shot him in the back of the head. And
Yeah.
I'm sure you all have seen this video.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know the backstory. So the guy who was taking the photograph of that, he asked the guy afterwards, he said, why in the world did you do that? He was a prisoner. He didn't do anything wrong. He goes, you do not tell me what this man did wrong. This man was one of the biggest killers of South Vietnamese troops, and he did not spare anyone. He did not spare children or women. This man was an assassin for the North Vietnamese, the guy who he grabbed, who had killed, I think, about 100 people, men, women, and children. So that just goes to show that the media's always been biased as well.
Oh, you mean towards the communists?
Yeah, there's a communist who did
Yeah.
that.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
Hmm.
But yeah, we
Where's Buddha?
Well, I don't
we-
think you can
we
get
fight
in.
the
I don't know,
wars.
message him, man.
Where's
Where's
Will?
Rebecca?
I already did. I don't know where he's at.
Right?
We
Or maybe
literally
we're at the
maxed
max.
out. Yeah, we are. We have 10 people in here, and that's the most we can do it. That's kind of why I wanted to do it in the Discord. That way we can have an almost
Yeah.
unlimited amount of people in there, but a lot of
We
autism.
got
as well.
one, two,
If
three,
somebody wants to
four, five,
leave
six,
and give
seven.
somebody else an open.
Okay, well, I'll step out for a while and let someone else come in.
Sluts, we don't even know where this fucker is.
Not here,
Don't worry
offline.
about it.
But I'm sure Canadian. I always say Canada. I don't know why. But I'm sure you guys deal with the issue. But in Europe, the big contention that they have with Americans is we assume everyone should speak English. Like, why the fuck not? We're rude. We're Americans. We're arrogant. You know, we assume everyone
Like
should
we're
speak
the-
English.
Like we're the number one fucking country in the world or
Right,
something, right?
Like, go ahead, fucking kidnap me. The Marines will be here in 48 hours. Fuck it. And so, like, everyone doesn't like us, and they're like, "Oh, you're not as great as you think you are." It's like, yeah, but as soon as you have an emergency, who do you call? Who's number one on your fucking speed dial?
Which countries have bases in them again? Oh, that's right, European. I'm sorry. Sorry, I had to do it to you. Germany,
Well, I
Poland,
mean,
Italy.
Think of the
fucking
military protection the United States provides for Europe, right? And we were talking about this, Loki, that Canada and their military defense, they kind of don't really care that much because they have the United States, right? Like, we're right here. We're not just going to sit here and let our northern neighbor get invaded.
Actually, I was talking to this about earlier with Polipod, how the Canadian border, like the shared border with America, is how many miles long? It spans like 5 time zones.
It's the longest continental border of any countries.
And most of it's completely unprotected and open, where you can just walk across anytime you want, drive across. No one's gonna fucking stop you. There's no way America's letting us get invaded, and I think our politicians fucking know this.
Hell, we have a state on the other side of your country, and we have a highway that comes from the continental United States to it.
Yep.
And there's no border checkpoint. You just drive right on through.
That's Montana, right?
Yep.
Or is it Seattle?
Alaska?
Or Washington?
Whichever one of those states is the northern state.
Alaska.
No, both of them.
The weird
Not
round.
Alaska,
No.
in the continental United States. Man.
When I was in Vancouver, it was people were talking about coming up from what was it called?
Okay, Hero
Seattle.
left, and so did Siggy.
So we had 2
Siggy,
empty
give him
spaces.
some more, man.
Siggy can come back.
Siggy's probably gone off to get some food, snacking on some of that Jewish salami I bought.
Jewish salami.
Oh,
But my point,
Choking on your salami, huh?
my identity point is now you get a lot of the narrative of you shouldn't be proud to be an American. When we were literally teaching during the Cold War that this is why we're so great. Now the narrative is switching. You shouldn't think it's so great. You should be ashamed of America.
You should question everything.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah,
So
these are the things
skeptical.
that other countries have been saying about America for a long time, yet we're still the ones they rely on. So we're arrogant. We're proud to identify as Americans more than nationalism is pretty much in any other predominantly white country because of it, right? Like we're taught about it. You know, England teaching the history of we almost lost to the Nazis. That was a real dark time. Thank God it turned around. We don't know how, but luckily we ended up winning World War II, right?
To this day, it's still a mystery.
But right, or Germany when they're teaching their history,
Maybe
they
it's-
just
maybe
skip
it's-
over the 30s and 40s.
I wonder
no,
why
they
the
It
Germans.
didn't happen.
I wonder why the incompetent German leaders.
Politpod, you have a question in the chat.
What's this? What's my question?
Well, while he's reading that question,
Oh, what do I think about that? You trying to make that EU army? Yeah, good luck
oh.
with you.
Yeah, so
Well,
they can invade each other. Yeah.
well, yeah, the EU army is to assert its dominance over European countries, not to not rely on the U.S.
What's that, guys? You said
That's not gonna backfire.
what's that Catalonia? You said you wanted to have a referendum vote. Oh hell no! What's that?
Article 50 referendum? How about here's my fucking army?
What's that? What's that? You said the police force is getting killed by the Catalonians. Time to send in the military. Oh, what's that? The Spanish military is incompetent.
Yeah.
Time to send in the EU military.
you know, in a way, it's kind of like Germany actually got what it wanted in the first place. You know, everyone fought to keep them from occupying everybody else, and now they are.
Yep. Still. Yeah.
They're doing it without guns.
We must have a completely united Europe, so we do not have laws about war.
It just so
and then
happens
we
to
get
be Germany in charge. It's coincidence, guys. It's coincidence.
Yeah. Guarantee you they'll go after Poland if they get what they want with that army.
Yeah. There will be Muslim refugees in Poland if there's an EU army. I read the bill. It actually includes in there that they do not need permission from any of the member countries to send the EU army into that country.
Yeah,
of course not.
That's part
Not
of it.
exactly what the Nazis did.
The
Centralized
EU
power,
military does not
everybody.
have to respect your borders. They can go and operate and train, quote unquote, wherever they feel like within the EU. See some Article 50 after that.
Good luck trying to leave then.
Yeah.
Well, speaking about living, how much is Britain paying to leave? Hold.
They haven't worked that out yet, have they?
Yeah, they haven't decided.
It's like, you know, they have. It's between $40 and $50 million in order to leave, and they get literally no. They get literally nothing, and they're not even guaranteed trade deals with the EU.
That's okay. I'm pretty sure America will start trading with
fostering it with them.
Oh,
I mean, we are making a better effort at trading with them now, right? Because of that.
Who?
China doesn't say no to trading partners.
That's
So,
right,
yeah,
China.
That.
What's that, Guaylo?
Oh God, Tuck.
Yeah, see, I had a solution to that. If the EU tried to bully Britain on trade, it would be great if Trump just says, "You know what, EU, we're not trading with you anymore. All of our trade will go through the UK. We'll get rid of unemployment in the UK completely."
And that way, Russia can go back to trading with the EU, being their primary trading partner. It'll be fantastic. It'll be huge.
Yeah.
Make Russia great again. Sorry.
I don't think anything will make Russia great again. It'll have to have been great at some point. And we killed all the monarchs, so that's not going to happen. All right.
So identity, right? That's what we were talking about, right?
Yeah.
We have been successfully talking about it, I think.
Yeah, that's my point. Is identifying as American is a point of pride for a lot of people because we're taught history. We're even taught about the Trail of Tears of the good old Democrat president Andrew Jackson, his genocide against the Native American people. Right? We're taught all that stuff.
The founder of the Democratic Party, mind you.
Yep. The daddy of it all.
A cuck from beginning to end.
I don't think like a lot of other countries. I mean, there's a lot of I don't know if you'd call it good history for Britain, but there's a lot of rich, interesting history that they kind of would just rather
Magna
forget.
Carta, you know, that's kind of an important document. And,
right.
You know, the Battle of Britain, that's kind of important. You know, colonialism, which spurred the Americans.
Right.
Kind of
yeah, pretty much all the history that leads up to the founding of the United States is very important British history that all British citizens should know.
But do they?
And then they should learn how America works and then get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Buddha went offline. Oh, you God damn it, Mouth.
What he was like, yeah, sure, I'll join later. And then he went offline.
He does that.
But, like what you were saying, Loki, you don't really have that group, that in group.
Nope.
But look at Dinesh D'Souza for a good comparison of a migrant in the United States. I mean, he worked for the Reagan administration. He's very, very much pro the United States of America, and he is he's an American citizen, but he was a migrant from India who came here for college and never left.
Huh?
Right?
Who are you talking about?
Dinesh D'Souza.
Oh, Dinesh, Mr. Yeah. I get targeted by the IRS, D'Souza.
Mm-hmm. He did.
Mr.
He did commit a crime. He admits he committed the crime. Also, lots of people that same crime and never get in trouble.
A whole $20,000 to a campaign for a Republican. Oh, lad. Oh, God.
No, that's what I'm saying. He's like, I'm far from the only person who does that. I'm just the only one who's ever actually been prosecuted for it.
I love how people No, it's not Dinesh. It's Dinesh.
How do you spell it?
Dinesh. This is.
I do know who he is.
Yes, I do. I just don't like people mispronouncing his name and misspelling it. Dinesh.
I'm so sorry, Polly.
Pollard? Is that what you're calling me? Pollard?
Jibbity jibbity.
Just call me Tuck Buckford.
There you go.
All right.
So, has anyone else had any problems with identity or identifying as something or finding their place in the world?
Well, when the damn goalpost changes constantly, yes.
Well, that's
like
how life works.
here's the irony there. Like, I'm sorry, I've been thinking about this for a while, but like, you know, Elizabeth Warren self-identifies as a native, even though she has no proof to back that up, and she refuses to take a genetics test.
She said.
But you guys are shamed for identifying as American, just period. I'm like, what? Wait a minute, where's this poll?
My grandpappy had high cheekbones because he's a Native American.
Yeah. That's not racist. That's not racist at all. Trump is the racist for making fun of her for it.
How dare you call her Pocahontas?
Yeah, like that just blew my mind. And even she self-identifies as a Cherokee, and the Cherokees are like, what the fuck are you talking about? We don't want you to do this anymore. Stop it.
Even the Cherokees told her to cease and desist, and she hasn't listened to them. Yeah. If anyone wants to go like attack her and just like take a swab and just like round it in her mouth, I'll pay your court costs.
So do identities need to be respected?
Depends.
God
damn. I'm gonna go with
What?
no. Blanket.
No,
I don't want to think of her as a Pocahontas, Mr. Gentleman.
I would say unless you meet the characteristics of whatever you're trying to describe, then you shouldn't really care.
Exactly.
And that's part of the problem. You know, you get a lot of people that identify as something but don't meet any of the criteria for that identity. It's a massive problem.
That's a large portion of the narrative I've been spewing over the past year. Titles and narrative, the fucking titles, the identities that people fucking slap on themselves are completely fucking useless most of the time.
Like
complete garbage.
Like I've been.
Okay, hold on. One of my simplest examples I want to bring up is people who call themselves liberals, and then you ask them why they call themselves liberals, and they tell you some bullshit fucking theory about what some Democrat said somewhere, and then you're like, okay, no. Literally, the term is liberal, like the term liberty. Why are you a liberal when fundamentally the shit you described is fucking dogmatic and anti-liberal, anti-liberty? It is about fucking.
Oh, they're the Democratic Party because they want a direct democracy, and the Republican Party wants a republic.
Yep.
Okay, sure, but that's not what I mean. If people are like, yeah, the government should tell me what I can and can't say, or what you can and can't say.
Well, they think that they are the freedom of everything party.
Well, except for speech.
No. Even speech. They just think that people shouldn't say things. You know, they just think that certain things are just so horrible.
Jailable offenses.
Yeah, jailable offenses. You know, that's how liberty works. Obviously.
That's right, liberty through jail, because they also believe in prisoners' rights, and prisoners should have the right to absolutely do nothing but get 3 square meals a day, a place to sleep, and some peace and quiet to read their books.
Fuck whatever they did wrong, right? I mean, they just raped and murdered a child, but let's
no. Remember, the rape and murder of a child is not at all their fault. I'm gonna go on these fucking rants
because
again.
they're black. It's because they're black, dude. It's because they live in very poor, little, very, very bad working conditions, you know?
Okay.
It's the worst.
But for those of you who say I'm going the exact same fucking rants all the time, it's because the exact same fucking narratives keep coming up. This is it. It's not the black people's fucking fault.
You're getting derailed from what you were saying.
I am getting derailed from what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was just making a...
It felt like you were going somewhere with talking about asking liberals why they identify as liberal and they can't answer it.
Yeah, I was
asking most people
about to say
they identify as, and they give you a title. Like Politipod identified as that weird version of a libertarian.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's like being a conservative, except you like penises in and around the mouth.
But no. Look.
Let's not get started. Okay.
Hold on. Well, we're gonna get into the drunker part of the stream in hour 2. I hope you're all drinking because I was promised this to be a drunk.
I thought this
stream.
was hour 2. Aren't we in hour 2 now?
It does it's streaming hour 1.
Dude, we've literally been talking for like 8 hours.
God. I fucking your time identification is way off.
Identity, am I right?
Look. We talked about this before when the British version of what a billion is and the American version of what a billion is are two very different things with 3 zeros apart.
Well, here's the thing. If
So
you get a
when-
small loan of $1 million, that automatically means that you gained all of your wealth through your papa. Obviously.
Yep.
Right,
You know, it's not like a bank loan or anything, and he definitely didn't pay it off, even though he did. But
My point is that in Britain, being a conservative means something different than
being a
in
conservative
America.
obviously means like you want fox hunting and the death tax erased because those are important things.
Right. Being a libertarian
Sometimes.
means different things in different countries.
See, now this is why the two-party system is better.
Sometimes being a libertarian means you want open borders. Sometimes it means
No,
you want to
it
be
never
able
does.
to buy meth at CVS.
No, it literally never means that.
Actually,
If
both of
you
those
are-
things have been propagated to me by libertarians. They call themselves libertarians. They show up and they
No.
want all government erased.
The Libertarian Party isn't even fucking libertarian anymore.
Yeah.
That should tell you something.
What's wrong with Ron Paul?
Ron Paul is the
Both
head of the
die.
Libertarian Party.
Which
No, he's
libertarian?
not. Ron Paul's a
Um,
Republican. And the only
Yeah.
Libertarian Party wants.
Libertarian Party is a bunch of fucking dum-dums.
Yes.
What about
Because what
Austin?
they're-
Austin?
They say that we need to have free speech limited, basically, because people are making fun of Muslims. They said that we need to be an all-inclusive party because we're so shitty at being libertarian that apparently.
These people
that
say
means-
that like they don't make fun of everybody else.
Yeah, and
we gotta
here's the
cater
other
to
thing-
them.
here's the other thing with this is that I don't know if you know much about Gary Johnson, the guy who was running for the libertarian position in
Oh yeah.
2016.
Stoner in
man-
chief.
Oh my god. That might have been
That was
fucking.
amazing Gary Johnson story. So when I
No,
was at the-
Tuck, shut the fuck up. I'm trying to
no,
explain.
no, because this is an actual story of me
Tuck,
actually seeing
Tuck.
Gary Johnson.
Shut the fuck up. What I'm trying to say
Talk,
is,
wait, just wait a second.
what I'm trying to say is that Gary Johnson's a fucking dum dum. He's basically the guy who started this whole movement from the Libertarian Party to move from like a fiscally conservative free market system to a socially only economic system, as well as we want open borders and pot should be legalized and all this other stupid shit like the TPP should be passed and things like that. He's a very poor libertarian. But yeah, he's a piece of shit and I hate him. Now, Tuck, you can say your fucking story.
All right, let's hear about you meeting Gary Johnson.
Can someone unmute him?
I don't think he knows he's muted.
Is
Tuck,
he
you-
muted? Who muted
Tuck,
him? Who has the
you
right
have
to
to
even
unmute
mute
yourself.
people in my Hangout?
Me.
Poor
I think
Pat.
he muted himself.
He's been oppressed.
I see.
There you go.
Hi.
Oh,
Hey, Ziggy.
Yeah, Siggy's back.
Tuck.
So anyway, at the state convention, this one kid came out and he asked Gary if Gary became president, would Gary stop smoking pot? Because, you know, he would be in a federal government position and be smoking a drug that is illegal on the federal level. And then Gary retorted to the child, well, I guess maybe you should ask your doctor the same question. Yeah. Way
Oh
better
my
than
God.
what Sam ever had to say.
Seems legit.
This is why the Libertarian Party is now a laughingstock.
What about
Well-
Austin Peterson? What's your take on
I
him?
was half
I say
convinced
vote
the
for
Libertarian
Trump.
Party was.
Lardell used to vote for Austin.
You just gonna ignore me, Politipod?
Huh? Who?
Austin
Oh, no, he's
Peterson?
just- yeah.
Austin Peterson. What about Austin Peterson?
I said, what's your take on him? He was the one. He was up and coming, but it was too late because Gary Johnson was already the nominee. But people started getting behind him. He's considering running to replace Claire McCaskill because he is a citizen of my state, and
Oh, the guy from
I hope
Kansas.
he does run. He's got my vote, but
Is that the guy from Kansas City?
yeah.
Oh yeah. I know this guy. He's okay, but he's a Republican though.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
more
he's
so.
in the Libertarian Party.
No, he identified as a Republican for the race because he is running this year or next year, whichever one it is. Next year.
Next year.
I want her
Which
gone
race are you
so bad.
Well, who do you want gone so bad?
Claire McCaskill.
Claire McCaskill. Oh, hang on. Is she? I know her. I think I know.
Sounds
her.
like a crypt keeper.
Claire McCaskill.
Yeah, but he is a libertarian, but he's running for the GOP for the votes.
I hate her so much. Her fucking forehead is like the size of a fucking state, dude.
She's a fucking horrendous senator.
So she is a crypt keeper.
Well, yeah, and also I want you guys to look at this state up on this person's head. Have you ever seen a larger gap of space? It looks like the Sahara Desert just crawled up on her head.
Yes, I have.
She is a crypt keeper. Oh my god. She's a golden girl.
Damn.
That sounded like a slight towards Betty White and then fighting words.
Dude, she's from
Hey, don't hate on Betty.
Yeah, but Betty's the one who lived, so she's fine.
This explains everything.
I
dude.
love all the golden girls.
This explains everything, dude. She's from Rolla. That explains so
Rolla.
much.
Yeah.
Rolla.
It's Rolla. Where
Rolla.
the fucking people think that Walmart is a fucking mall. Goddamn hillbillies.
Yes, I'm aware. I lived in Missouri. Remember, Dum Dum?
Kat, I've got an odd question for you.
You forgot that I live fucking 20 miles from Rolla?
Are you still living in Hawaii?
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
On the
Hawaii.
continent of like Hawaii.
On the content? Yeah. I just wanted to know, how hard do you laugh when white people come up to you and claim that they're natives?
Oh my god, it makes my day every time.
Catherine,
Every
are you a native Hawaiian?
No.
Okay, so thank God. How many people come up to you and, like,
bullshit?
how many people come up to you and just like call you a haole all the time?
Well, they have they have some of the most super liberals up there, and they're all like, "Oh, we're native Hawaiians," and then you're just like, "You're not native here."
No, they're not. But in their defense, they're more native than some of the natives because the population of actual Hawaiians is down to like 2%. Now.
Yeah.
Dude, one of their senators is like a fucking Hindu from like.
Yeah, that's
New York.
actually true. Their governor is
Tulsi.
mixed as well.
What's her name? Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah, Tulsi Gabbard. Yeah, I actually kind of like her, to be completely honest with you, but not too much. But no,
I've heard
I've
good
had people
things.
call me haole before, but it's been explained to me that just means somebody from somewhere else. It can be used as a derogatory term towards somebody who's white. It can also be used against people of other races as well.
Yeah, I know. But it's that's the thing. I've
It's
had
not
about,
a slur because you're a white. It's a slur because you're just not us.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, basically. Yeah,
That's
it's like
not
when
even-
the
I mean-
Chinese would call somebody gaijin or something like that. It just means
Yeah,
Gaijin.
Aren't a
That
lot of
means you're gonna turn
Hawaiians?
into a giant robot.
Aren't a lot of Hawaiians Japanese? Like,
Yes,
No,
yes,
guys.
and Filipino
sorry.
and Chinese. There's tons of them. Tons of them. It's the majority of the
Something
population.
is triggering all of the things inside of me by that comment.
Sorry.
Or just
What do you mean?
all of them.
Say it. Speak it out.
It's something. I don't fucking know what.
What setting? What did we say that set you off?
Most of Hawaiians being Japanese.
It's a fact. A lot of them came here after World War II.
But
Tons.
I guess not
Goddamn
native
invaders.
Hawaiians at all.
They're not. Not
Maybe
ethnically,
they were
but-
invaders. They were on their way, and they just kind of stopped and went, "How? This is actually really nice," and stayed.
This is why George Takei was interned in World War II. Because of the Japanese spies.
Yeah, but it's very interesting living here, being somebody who doesn't believe or think the same way they do. Very interesting. Kind of annoying, actually.
Was it Roseanne Barr's out there? You should hang out with her. She got a pot farm.
No, thank you. No, but
You don't like
it's really funny,
Roseanne?
They look down at you because you have these opinions, but then their roads have potholes the size of tires. You know.
What's wrong with Roseanne Barr?
I don't really like her, to be honest.
Fucking liberals.
Because you're a big.
You know, I don't know about her. Like she's crazy as hell, but at the same time,
Isn't she libertarian or something?
Yeah, I'll be right back, guys.
She's just a crazy fat woman.
She was on Days Rubin. She was
I would take her a million times over Roseanne Barr, though.
Through mind control. So
Let's take it. Let's do let's do a poll. Who would pick? You would pick Roseanne Barr or Rosie O'Donnell.
Oh,
obviously Roseanne Barr.
Nobody would pick Rosie.
Exactly.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about Rosie O'Donnell. Sorry.
No,
Barr is
Roseanne
from the show Roseanne?
The stoner pineapple farmer from fucking Hawaii.
I didn't
She's
know who
fucking
we were talking
permafried. She's stoned 24 hours a day. Those are her
Yeah.
words.
Oh, okay. Well, I missed who it was that you were talking about. I don't know.
She was on Dave Rubin. Go check her out.
Yeah.
Marijuana
She's cool.
becomes legal in Canada, my website is going to sell marijuana to whoever wants it.
Just make sure that
It'll be
No, marijuana becoming legal in Canada doesn't mean you get to sell it.
That absolutely
It means the
means
government gets to sell it.
I get to grow it in my
you
fucking
live in
backyard.
That's for your own consumption.
I think me and you have a different understanding of what the word fucking legal. Because you think some weird arbitrary bullshit, and I think it should become legal
Loki,
just for everyone to do. Yes.
Loki, you're forgetting you live in socialist Canada.
I know
The
exactly
government
where I
won't
live, and I
control
will never fucking forget where I fucking live.
See, the thing is Loki could technically sell the pot. It's just that he would have to do it through the government, and I mean, he would be taxed out the Yang for it, but he'd still probably make mint. So,
and
like moonshine is technically illegal to sell unless you get a license, but you can produce 370 gallons a year for personal consumption. Right? That's in Canada, everything is through the government. Here, they're kind of like, once it's legal, do whatever the fuck you want with it.
I wish.
yeah, that's kind of the thing out here right now because they're pushing to legalize it by July 2nd, and that's pretty much the debate on who's going to be selling it. And our government, the NDP, which I don't trust them at all, but they've said that they're probably going to allow both parties to sell. It's just your tax margin will be different. Like,
yeah.
They're just gonna sell it in stores beside the LCBO.
That's the other thing too. Is,
Not beside the LCBO,
well, that's in
in the
Ontario.
LCBO.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And where
in Alberta, they want them to be separate stores. Like you might be able to buy like a bag of chips there, but chances are good it's just going to be rolling papers. They're not even selling pipes. It's going to be rolling papers and like different kinds of oils and shit. And I'm like, you really don't know anything about what you're talking about. Like, I kind of hope that they would let the
well, in Ottawa, there's stores that are just selling them outright. I don't know how they do it though. We should find out.
Yeah. But I mean, this is the difference between Ontario and Alberta. Like, I think Alberta is still dragging their feet, and it's just one of those things where you're like, listen, I understand that we're conservative and stuff, but this is the thing is a lot of people want it. So why don't you work with the government so that it works for both of us? Like the biggest worries that they have are people driving high on pot, and I'm like, okay, I get that. Because they're like, well, is it going to be legal to take blood tests? I'm like, well, it doesn't work like that. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how they've solved that issue. Like, what I know that was the delay for legalizing it. So I don't know what the solution to that has been. Actually, I should look into it.
But I pointed out to my mom, it's not like it's illegal to drive high on cough syrup either, and I mean people do have crashes because they're high on cough syrup. So it's like it's just
well, it is illegal to drive under the influence. It doesn't specify of what.
Yeah,
well,
like if you're on
get
pain
into a car
medication,
accident, when you're fucking drinking tons of cough syrup, you're going to get charged with driving under the influence. I don't think anything says driving under the influence of alcohol.
No, it doesn't.
Right, it could be driving under the influence of cocaine, ecstasy, mushrooms, marijuana. Anything.
Gravel. You can take too many gravels and be sleeping. If you're driving tired, I think if you're tired, or like if they can
that's
prove
being
that you're
under the influence of being tired.
Yeah.
Like you can get charged for reckless driving if you haven't slept for 24 hours and you go get behind the wheel, for example.
Well, I don't know if it's the same for you guys, but out here, you could get charged if you're caught eating at the wheel. Like they're just like if you're not able to pay attention to what you're doing when you're driving for
That's
anything.
driving under the influence of hunger.
Well, like if you get into an accident, then yeah. But if you're just driving, I don't think that
Hey,
the cop's
actually,
gonna pull you
Crazy
over.
Cat Gentleman brings up a good point. Don't drive under the influence of love. I've known actually a couple of people that have gone on long-term drives under a broken heart and have drive really recklessly while listening to sappy love songs
And crying.
and crying.
I'm
Yeah,
so
no. I actually know somebody who actually crashed his car while doing that specific thing.
I mean, it's not funny, but
No, it's not funny. It's really sad and heartwarming, and I want to make a movie about it. But
Let's do it.
It's pretty funny.
We've been trying to figure out this animated stuff. We're gonna be doing short movies soon.
woo!
No, no, we
No.
are not. No, no.
Darren
get
no.
married to
Darren
John.
doesn't
Oh.
get paid. He refused to identify himself as a real artist. And
So
it's
do
not-
we
Siggy-
drop the identity,
Sig-
the theme, or is that
Siggy's
over?
like, oh yeah, you guys should work on a short animation.
I'm a
Don't
socialist.
mind-
I want to do everything.
Don't mind the fucking year or two you have to spend on the fucking animation in the first place.
I want to be like the government. I want to be a movie expert, a political expert, a TV expert, a music
Feminism
expert.
has
I'm not
brainwashed her
gonna
to
take
want it
for
all,
saying
and
this,
since she
but-
wants it all completely all the
You-
time, I
you know
am
that-
fucking driving up the wall by by continuously needing to provide her with all the things that she wants.
Hey, Varen, you can always just pull bearing animations and just pick 3 different pictures and
Jesus.
rotate between them.
I also just realized that
Yeah.
Egal, whatever the fuck his name is using the same software I want to use because I just noticed he's got all the background characters that's I saw in the software. So his little polar bear animation that's actually from the same software I want to use.
Yeah, you haven't talked to that. Well, I don't know if you've talked to that guy, but he hasn't been on.
No. That guy's great. He'll show up if I actually ask him to, and he's been retweeting a fuck ton of my shit every time I post something retarded. I'm actually kind of sad that we don't have him on more often, and he's not part of our Discord or part
Why
of our
doesn't
live
he come
streams.
part of our Discord?
I think he travels in different YouTube circles. More
Oh, so
active
he's
YouTube
a
circles.
nomad.
No, more active YouTube circles. As I was talking to actually Polipod earlier, we apparently are not traveling within the successful YouTube circles. We're traveling amongst the no one's YouTube circles.
Flotsam and jetsam.
Yeah. He says he'll hook you up, Siggy, specifically with Aiden Paladin. You guys can hang out and make love to each other. Because you're
You
all
don't
women.
know her, and you wouldn't be saying these things.
I
if
have
you
never
actually
watched a
any of
goddamn
her
video
videos.
of her.
So
about
why
her,
don't you?
around
And
her.
then.
Why would I? Listen.
Although it's weird. Never mind. I shouldn't say that out loud.
Can I just put this out there? I have no place on YouTube. I don't belong anywhere.
You are a nomad.
I'm a nomad once again. I'm a nomad. I have
In life,
a character. I
in
have
art.
a funny persona. People think I'm funny sometimes. People think I have a point sometimes. But as you guys fucking gave me shit about earlier this week, I just keep going on the same fucking rants and I have no new material. I clearly have a certain thing I want to say, and that's about it. I don't have an expertise, as Politopod pointed out earlier today when I asked him what I should do with my channel, because all I know is how to hit things with a fucking hammer. I've been in construction since I was 16. What the fuck do I know about intelligent topics? I just want to make fun of idiot fucking
Just
politicians.
a monkey with a hammer.
I'm just a monkey with a hammer. Today, the only real interaction me and Siggy had is she needed me to hit nails on the head, high up in the wall, so we can hang some fucking LED lights up. And since then, she's like, I made some food. You can go eat some. It's on the stove.
Happy
Actually, that's not true.
holidays.
It's not true. I used a broom at some point to sweep some stuff up.
I broke the glass.
I am a monkey in a glass cage, fucking rattling the cage for you people on YouTube, trying to get drunk and make myself seem relative. Oh shit, chicken funkers in the chat. Maybe we should bring him in. Let's bring him in.
Hashtag find
Oh,
Mickey and
God.
identity.
No.
Chicken
Look.
fucker?
Yeah, he's
Where?
here. He's here, sir.
What? Why'd you get so excited?
I haven't seen him in a while. I don't like when
I
people
like
leave
fucking
my
with
little
him.
community. I'm sorry. And you know what? He's a different voice. He's from somewhere far away with an accent, with a different identity. Let's bring.
Can I make a message? Real quick. Sun King, if you're out there, I love you and I miss you. Baby, come back. All right. That's all I say. I keep sending him that video and he blocked me on Discord.
He's in a few servers that I'm in. I'll give you access to the servers where we're
No,
in.
he blocked me. I'm in servers with him, but I'm blocked. So
He can't block you in other people's servers. You can still tag him and you can still message him.
oh yeah, I do that in Will server all the time.
Yeah. Okay, well,
I still don't even get what you said to him. He's such a weird little guy.
do you guys want me to invite him into the?
Yes.
Oh God. Yeah.
Let's not say we did.
Really, Johnny? Really? You think we shouldn't invite Sun King?
I'm interested. I want to know his identity.
Why is it all white people from middle class families in here? Why can't we have some diversity
funny.
of
I wish I
character?
was
Why
a
can't
middle-class
diversity be our strength?
Middle class. I wish.
He's busy. Apparently.
I raised myself up out of poverty once, but I definitely did not come from a middle class family.
And then since then,
Huh?
and then since then,
Since I came from my poor white trash family,
yes.
I've made things better for myself.
Okay. So Politipod abandoned us, and our viewership is dropping slowly.
Oh no.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Oh, he did leave. Wondered.
He says he'll be right back, but I know his tricks. He says he'll be right back, but he won't be.
Nothing to say.
Maybe we can bring Ad in here. He can absolutely talk to us about identity politics.
No, he can't.
God.
He can't coherently talk about it.
Hey, if we catch him early enough when he's sober, he can have a very strong conversation.
So Darth
gonna happen.
Punjabi says he wants to join. He said, "Want a brown ex-Muslim?"
Sure.
We got one of those.
Sweet.
Yeah. Okay. Do we have a place we can send him a link if he wants to? No. See. If he joins though, then the stream will definitely drop to 11 viewers. Because
Why?
It's at 13
you
now.
got 13 now. Let's
I mean, hey
can
Darth,
you give him a
tell
link
us
to
how we
the.
can talk to you, man.
are you in? Are you in Politipod's Discord server? I'm a mod in there apparently for some fucking reason. Who the fuck gave me power? No, I don't know. Whatever.
Well, you have to wait for the time delay to catch up.
Yeah,
so.
the stupid time delay. We look, guys. Honestly, we have a server full of trannies and cross dressers.
Just chase everybody
Alright.
away, I guess.
I'll send it to him on Twitter. Give me a minute.
All right, fine. I'll let Kat find him on.
Can I have
Twitter.
mod power, please?
You're funny.
How do you not have
So
mod
here's
power?
an identity
I
question.
don't
Is
know.
there any identity someone wishes they could give themselves but can't?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm glad someone remembered what the fucking topic was. Damn. That's actually making me go to a deep place, deep down inside of my heart.
Yeah.
Sorry, could you read?
I could be straight.
Oh, right.
You cuck.
Identity that I
Are
would
you
prefer.
fucking shilling out your Discord in my fucking live stream chat?
Of course he is.
Is it my Discord?
It's how
I
you.
don't know which. I don't even know which Discord you shilled.
I'm pretty sure it's yours.
No, but honestly, is there an identity you guys could claim as your own, even though you can't do it?
Scottish.
Because we know Sean King has officially tweeted out that that he's trans black, and that other woman hashtag that she's trans black.
Rachel Dolezal?
Yeah. No, there's a lot of people actually fighting the narrative and saying that you could technically identify as black. You can identify as white, as Asian, as whatever you want if you choose to identify as it.
Well, why would you? Why do people want to identify as things?
Yeah, they run this narrative of how oppressed and horrible it is to be black, and then they all want to identify that way, even though they're not. Very peculiar.
Do we actually have the white?
Oh, we have this
Super on here?
faggot on.
Hi.
See, he identifies as a white faggot.
White faggot.
Or he does,
Oh,
doesn't he?
no, it's the white YouTuber.
I have to sneeze really bad. Why is there 4 Jewish stars in here? No, never mind.
It's a good question.
Oh my god, how did you realize my clever ruse of hiding?
Me too. I am incognito.
I thought I was in a nothing stream, and then I joined this stream. Holy shit! This is
Well, you
Yeah.
did show up and ruin it, so.
No, we still appreciate it. Well, I do.
Nothing.
Hey Duff, how you doing, mate?
I still have the chat from the other stream.
Doing fine.
So how do you identify, white boy?
I don't care. I don't care what people see
Alright,
me as, to be honest with you.
What about you, Duff? What do you
Well,
identify as?
I identify as an American whose family came from the country of Pakistan, whose grandparents were born in India.
Oh, jeez, that's too many words.
Okay, so why is this important to you? Why is it important to identify yourself as in this way?
You're talking to me?
No, he's talking
No.
to God.
I was about to say, well, that guy's taking forever.
So what? So I identify as American because I was born here, raised here my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. My parents came from Pakistan, but I, quote unquote Pakistan, but if you look to my Twitter feed, I always diss that country, so.
So is that sort of heritage playing a role into just what you want to identify as? You just want to be closer to your heritage?
I guess, but I don't really consider Pakistan a true society. I don't really consider it a real thing.
No, most Americans also don't consider it a real thing.
Yeah, it doesn't exist.
That's
It's
why-
like Atlantis. Yeah.
That's why you look at my Twitter bio, I mentioned that of Indian heritage because Pakistan was part of India, and my grandmother, who is still alive, was born in India in the days of the Raj.
So, so you just identify as American, and that's about it. And
yeah,
okay, so integrated fully, you have.
yeah, born and raised here, so yeah.
Oh, well, just because you were born and raised here doesn't mean you're integrated. There's some Somali Minnesota right now that were born here.
In Minnesota.
Yeah, there's lots of Somalians in Minnesota.
Oh,
Wait, are you calling them Somalians too?
Yeah, that's what Paul calls them. So that's the best because it sounds like some aliens.
Oh, Pat. But you know, at the same time though, when you do that, like my dad's always going on about how we're Scottish, and I asked him, well, why don't we go visit Scotland? And he's like,
What?
because they're a bunch of assholes.
So
So it's like even if you identify it as where your ancestors came from, you go there and then you realize that you have the only thing you have in common is where your ancestors came from.
Yeah. But why is that so important to so many people? Why is it so important from where you came from?
Maybe it's a connection to the culture.
But you just said that you're not connected.
One example, food. Like one example, food, music, movies.
Gives them a sense of.
Wait, movies. I don't pride myself on watching Russian movies. I don't know. Varen, how do you deal with a lot of Australian media?
I honestly don't really care about Australia all that much, to be honest.
They
Siggy,
haven't made
Iranian
shit.
media?
Mad Max.
I'm
All
not,
saying.
but there's a lot of people that do, and we have a lot of friends who do listen to Russian music and care about Russian movies, and so yeah, there's culture, there's language, there's family, there's food, there's
But
events,
wouldn't it be
there's
nice if we can all speak the same language?
No.
English.
Well, too bad all those people wanted to sin in the Tower of Babel. So
Exactly.
well,
wasn't
they
that
fucked it
supposed
up
to
for
be
all of us.
Esperanto or something?
No.
No.
What?
Esperanto?
Oh,
That was supposed to be the common language.
Okay, save that for the
Oh,
conspiracy
yes,
stream,
yes,
for
yes.
fuck's sakes.
all right.
Hidden.
It was an interesting idea, but the problem was, it was most of its roots came from the European languages. So it would have been easy for a European to learn, and not for like someone who speaks an Asian language or an African language.
Well,
Right.
Yeah.
It was actually made by a Polish guy.
Okay. To be fair, I don't think I can speak real African languages because the only thing that clicks here is my mouse and occasionally my keyboard.
And maybe you're my alone time.
What?
What?
What kind of masturbation joke is that?
Jen.
Wait, okay. Whitey, we've been going for like what? This is the third hour now. We've kind
No.
of talked
No,
about.
it's
It is. It's
We
streamed
started
for
at
2 hours ago.
We started at, okay.
2
I thought
hours
we
ago.
started at like 10.
No. You guys gave me shit for not starting at 8, so we started at 9. Anyway, what do you identify as? What can you tell us about yourself? Like,
A white YouTuber.
where are you?
The other boring guy already asked me that 10 minutes ago.
Well, I don't know who the other boring guy was.
That was Varen.
No, I'm sorry. My exposure to him has been very limited. From what I've seen about the white YouTuber, he identifies himself as the failed YouTuber so far more than anything else.
Oh. Yeah,
Which is sad.
it's also true.
Do you think you're a failed YouTuber?
Well, I think I'm, compared to you guys, no, I'm like I'm like God, but yeah.
That burn.
But continue. Go on.
No, I definitely it's gonna based off like numbers, yes, but based off actually like because a little bit in prior to like 8 months into making content, I felt like I was doing the same fucking type of videos over and over again, and I still liked to do them, but then I was like, but I kind of like feel like I'm only doing them because of the people watching like them, like because now I'm doing like because I've always wanted to do videos, make fun of funny stuff. Like it had nothing to do with making fun of like black people or social justice warriors, all that kind of shit. It just because that was funny at the moment. And now that type of humor in my mind, just for me, I don't care about anyone else. For me, it's just not funny anymore because like just making fun of the same thing for over a year gets boring. Yeah. So like my last couple of videos have been making fun of like stupid infomercials. So a large amount of my fan base doesn't want to see that, but it's like, yeah, but I'm not going to force myself to laugh at something I don't think is funny.
How many times can you make the same jokes, right?
Yeah, it's like we get it, like, oh, stupid SJW. It's like, that's still funny to you? Like, it's lame, it's boring.
Well, I mean, this is one of the problems that we're all facing. Is just that Loki, especially with the rants, the narratives keep coming back up. They don't go away, and you keep having to explain.
Yeah, how many times can I tell them their fucking entire ideology is fucking full of fucking bullshit and they have no idea what the fuck they're talking about because I know their ideology better than they do because I was a better socialist than they were. I could even defend most of these points better than they could either. As well. Like, no, me and Siggy will sit around and I'll hear some stupid SJW narrative and I'm like, wow, they're not even arguing it right. When I fucking was my most liberal, I would have argued it so much better with more facts and more fucking studies and like everything, and it just would have made myself more compelling.
Yeah, so everything you just said, I didn't care about, but that's awesome. Yeah.
I get it. I don't care about it either anymore. I actually, as far as most people here know, that I'm going to transition to doing less SJW bullshit and political shit to more funny skits.
But the sad part was like people would watch me and they thought like in terms of like I never like cared about it in terms of like people. I remember I think it all like didn't all start with this, but I think one of the main thing was like that whole Daddy 05 thing, because I was making a video on it, right? And I had no idea it was a big thing. I just saw I think Foxy She sent me the video. I'm like, oh, I'm totally gonna do a video on this. And halfway through making the video, like I hear all like, oh yeah, a bunch of big YouTubers are making videos on this. You too? I'm like, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, it's funny. And they're like, oh man, are you gonna sign the petition? I'm like, what do you mean? You know, like sign the petition, have the kids taken away. I'm like, no, what the like? No, I'm not fucking involved. Like, I just make these
You don't want
videos
the
for
fucking kids taken away.
no. But what I'm saying is like I was never in it for like any type of like this is bad. This has to be
Advocacy.
eliminated. Like, no, I'm just fucking here to make fun of things that I think is stupid.
That's what you should absolutely do. And like those people that don't do that, they'll leave, and you'll get the fan base that you want.
So, what's the difference between identifying as something or describing yourself as something? Like, what's if you say I identify as a cat lover versus I describe myself as a cat lover? Like, why do you think? And intersectional feminism is trying to address this whole. There's layers to your identity. You're more than one thing. But so this whole stream is about why identity is important. What's the difference between identifying as something or describing yourself?
Wait. This stream was never about identity being important. In fact, my entire narrative up to this point about me has been that my identity doesn't matter outside of what I present myself to be and who I am internally.
Okay.
What you identify as is okay. Look, we just brought the white YouTuber on, and people have their own perceptions on him, but he just said something more interesting than I would have ever thought he would ever say.
Wow.
I love
Cuts
it.
like a knife.
He's being honest.
No, it's true. He's like, look, I get it. People fucking want to see me fucking make fun of SJWs. That's not who I am. That's not what I do. That's a lot of the narrative I've been hearing from him. It's like, don't focus on the serious shit. Fuck this shit. He came in here and he's like, Zed, the fucking Z's, because the shit might be boring for him. He might not like the somewhat interesting, introversial, fucking deep conversations about what identity is. But he'll come in here and fucking laugh at us, and that's partially why I invited him in.
Yeah, like that's I like shit talking. Like I remember, see, like where I'm from is the East Coast of America. Shit talking is like this is what we do, and like for some reason here it's called drama, and it's called oh my god, did you hear? I heard he hates him. It's like why? Because he made a joke about him. That's why that's like I shit talk with my friends all the time. I don't know why people can't take it, especially in this fucking like genre that I was stuffed into. Like I fucking like I'll make a fucking joke about Blair White, and all of a sudden I get a bunch of people. Oh my god, you don't like Blair White? It's like no, I just think she's a fucking bitch. Like what the fuck? Doesn't mean I hate her and want her to die. I mean it'd be cool, but I don't care.
Well, in the world of SJWs and offense and everything, I don't know, like shit. The art of shit talking, I feel like it's been lost.
I'll be right back.
I think people just take shit too seriously. I don't get it.
Like before, like people were getting offended when you make fun of Michael Jackson, you know, and now it's like that times a billion.
Well, think of South Park.
Comedians can't do any. Comedians are the ultimate shit talkers, aren't they not?
Well,
I'm the funniest person in the world, so I'm really fucked.
Remember, South Park wanted to do an episode portraying Muhammad, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, it's so bad!" And like, we're just making jokes. Like, calm the fuck down. They were getting death threats about it and told not to do it. So they made like a whole 2 episodes making fun of the hysteria around portraying Muhammad in the United States because the concept of taking the thing so serious is ridiculous.
Yeah,
right? Like none of it is that serious. It's not worth the effort that these people put into it.
It's annoying when people take jokes seriously. I mean, and it's it sucks though too. To be fair, it's on the other side as well because there are 2 types of people that like they'll say they're comedians, but they also fuck it up for everyone. And it's the one type of people who they'll say something fucked up, which they truly mean. But then if they get shit for it, they'll be like, oh, I was just joking. So that fucks it up for everyone. And then there's also now like you get everyone who has to like they have no comedic ability at all. But this will basically be a joke. It'll be da 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 blah da blah da blah da blah da rape, and it's like, oh, we get it. You said something shocking, but that's not. You didn't have a joke. It wasn't a joke. You just said something that you got a couple people to laugh at because they're idiots, and oh, he's not supposed to say that. So they kind of ruin it also for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll stop talking about it.
No, I mean that's actually really interesting to think about. Just the way that,
pretty
like,
boring.
okay, Varen, why don't you elaborate on that?
You want us to shut up
Well,
because it's
slut.
boring. I agree.
No, it's just
I'm also pretty boring.
Can I also say something about the SJWs real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
So the SJWs, how they act, they remind me so much of Islamists in like Muslim majority countries because that's how like very religious people. That's how they act, exactly like SJWs.
Not tolerant of criticism.
You must be why
Yes,
they
like
like them so
basically,
much.
and say for example, like one Muslim make a joke, right? Just like a small joke, the Islamists they get real triggered and they stage like large scale protests in the country. It's like I can't tell the difference between an SJW and an Islamist.
Because they're both
Like,
authoritarian.
look what Trump did. He made that joke about Jerusalem being Israel's capital. All his Muslims take it all seriously, and now they're doing riots.
But it's funny because, like, you say that. Well, I mean, okay, but again, this is anecdotal evidence, but I go back to all of my trips when I go visit Iran, and within our family, and maybe like family dynamics are different. There's so much more of a culture of making fun of each other and bothering each other and putting each other down in a fun way, like, you know, trying to challenge each other. Whereas in North America, like, even with close friends, you sometimes feel like you have to censor yourself. So this whole idea of this culture of talking shit, which I kind of like what you were saying, what the white people were saying, I think it is kind of being lost as the years go by.
I have a question for you, Siggy.
Send
Sure.
nudes. Send nudes.
If I made jokes, right, the same jokes about Muslims and Islam and Iran that I do here with those people you were talking about, your family, right, in Iran,
Yeah.
how would they take it?
It depends on which one and the person. They're all different, but I don't mean in terms of jokes about I just mean in jokes about like jabs at each other and each other's personalities, and you know, like we were more open, I feel, a bunch of years ago, and more free to make fun of each other and criticize in a fun way. I don't necessarily mean politically speaking. I just mean like shit talking each other in that kind of way.
Send nudes.
I don't know. It depends on the cousin. Some would be tolerant, some wouldn't. I don't know.
So I have a question too. Why do you think it is that we're losing the ability to do that?
Wait. Whoa. How the fuck did we get to the ability of
Can I
losing
actually
the
answer
ability
that?
to fucking give each other shit? I'm back on the goddamn job site, and the only thing we do is talk about how much dick everyone sucks. That's the primary joke. There's like people wear out knee pads daily.
Okay, well, maybe again, some industries is
No,
different.
this is why I love being in construction, because I can get on the job site and people make like 15,000 blowjob jokes. And you know what? I've also talked about the what YouTuber's gone. The fact that I had that girl boss for a while. You know what? Nobody did make any fucking jokes except for me. And yeah, because you make a fucking joke about blowjobs around her, and all of a sudden it's a sexual harassment issue. Because people know. When I asked her if she's ever had to take any of the fucking hazing, she said no, because she can't take that. She can't take the hazing because people are too afraid that she'll legally go after them, and that means you're not equal. That literally means you're not equal, and she knows she's not equal. She knows she's getting preferential treatment.
I think the way guys and girls make fun of each other is different. But I think that the reason
No. All the blowjob jokes, all the sexual jokes, everything else, guys make to each other. The girls think that we are making fun of them for being sluts. Not true. We make the exact same jokes. I'm telling you, I hear 400 fucking blowjob jokes, your mom jokes, I fucked your mom jokes, I fucked your sister jokes, I'm going to fuck you in the ass later jokes a day.
That's not really what Siggy was saying, though. She's saying that when a girl is interacting with another girl, the way we joke with each other is different than how men act towards each other.
Sure. But okay, sure. Why not? The women interact with each other differently than men interact with each other, but men wouldn't interact with each other differently if women did make it a legal issue. Because I've interacted with plenty of women the exact same way I interact with men on the job site. The only difference is when I joke enough with a woman about blowjob, she eventually sucks my dick.
Huh.
I'm sorry. That's a fact. I sit around, I've joked, and she goes, okay, you know what? Fine, I'll suck your dick. That's it. You know what no guy's ever done? Actually, that's not true. I can name at least 3 different guys that said they would suck my dick as well.
Okay, so interesting.
I keep waiting for Hero Marks to pop in and be like, "That's me."
No. Hero Morgs has never offered to suck my dick. Hero Morgs bought me a video game, told me that he fucking likes me, he wants to subscribe to my live stream, he wants to watch this stuff, he wants to be part of our community, he wants to be part of our Discord, but he's never offered to suck my dick.
No, I think
he's offered me like 20 times in like 2 days.
Because me and you have different relationships with him. He joined the Discord because he found you particularly sexually attractive, which is why I'm kind of sad that he's not in here. I invited black people in here. I invited fucking gay people in here to talk about identity with us. I want women's opinions as well. Like, if we can find some sluts. I invited Potato in here too.
I got it. Even though the white YouTuber is gone. I do get maybe slightly a little offended when people say homophobic things, like homophobic jokes towards openly gay people. Right? Like Chuck over here. Right? When Hero Morgs came in and he's like, faggot. Right?
Yeah, faggot. You should kill yourself. Why
slightly uncomfortable. Only on the basis is like you don't really know him. You know what I mean? Like, he might not be comfortable with that, might not know you're joking. And so you're immediately alienating him because of his identity right off the bat. Right?
Like,
not that you mean it in any malice or, negative way. Does that make sense?
Yes. In fact, if I'm allowed to share my own personal story, me and Siggy went to a cottage with our recently something friend. I know, I'm not sure if he's recently become gay or recently become bisexual, but he's entered a homosexual relationship, I guess.
Yeah.
His boyfriend is actually really cool, and I really like hanging out with him at the fucking cottage and getting drunk and shooting the shit with him. But I found myself censoring myself and actually feeling kind of bad when I use gay as a derogatory term. I'm even kind of worried that he might take it the wrong way. Like, I don't mean gay as in like, oh, that's fucking gay. You're fucking gay, so that means you're stupid. But like, I catch myself doing it, and I feel bad for catching myself doing it, and I feel bad for doing it. Like, I might even want to stop, but like, I don't think he hasn't really shown me that he's unhappy about it, or he catches me doing it. But I don't know. It's weird. It's semi uncomfortable. Like Pat, but then again, I know Pat is Pat. This is Pat. We fucking hang out.
Well, no. My point is, Hero Morgs doesn't know that.
Oh, he knows it.
See, he's learning.
He likes it when I.
Well, isn't that the whole point of don't judge a book by its cover?
Well, have you ever listened in on a conversation with him and Ad? Like, he absolutely adores those conversations. Like, he'll have moments where, like, he'll stop Ad from going too far, because you know Ad does. But he absolutely adores it.
Hero Morgs?
Mm-hmm. He enjoys
Okay.
it. Like,
has he told you why he enjoys it?
he just finds it fun. He's just like, I've never had so much fun in my life. Well, he's kind of trolling at the same time, like when people talk to him like that, he's just like, I'm gonna take this as an opportunity to troll you right back. He takes it as a joke, and he knows that, sometimes I'm sure that he's aware that sometimes people are making fun of him a little bit, but he just makes fun of you right back. Like, he's just like, oh, okay, well, this is the fun that we're having today, and this is what we're gonna do.
And do you think if he was genuinely offended by it, that he would openly tell you?
Hero Morgs?
Anybody in general?
I think you would, because he asked me the other day why you were being particularly mad at him. He
Right.
private messaged
Well,
me and he asked me why you're being particularly mad at him. I said because you're in a cranky mood, and then he went to go message you and try and make you laugh. I think that if he thinks that ad is officially like or actually something really horrible and not something we all fucking laugh at, he would be he may get offended. Like I don't know. This Pat, does he banter back and forth with you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, he banters back and forth. Like, Hero Morgs is also in the Triggered server, so he's always talking to Will and Pat as well.
Yeah. Well, let's just say we're having the conversation with him. I guess I shouldn't give the details. He's not here. But almost immediately after that, Mycroft came in and basically was going in on him about not talking gay.
That was
like
amazing.
with the lisp and everything.
Mm-hmm.
No, that was the second round of that same conversation.
Oh, okay. I was only there for round one.
But Hero Morgs was clearly getting upset and with Mycroft and the things that he was saying, but Mycroft was not actually attacking it. Mycroft was being Mycroft, but he wasn't attacking him. Like, he was basically making the point of the lisp is a cultural thing that the gay community has adopted as an identifier.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And
I was
that's
there
when,
for that.
yeah, that's when the next conversation with Tuck and Will ended up coming about because of the first conversation. But he was clearly upset by the things that Mycroft was saying to him. Right? So I know he gets upset by those things.
Okay, so you do know that he gets upset. Now the question is, have you gone out of your way to defend him?
Well, no, I don't. He's a grown-ass man. But as I said, seeing the instance, it makes me uncomfortable. If it was something genuinely that I thought somebody needed defense for, like they were just getting steamrolled, that would be a different story entirely. But he's a grown man. He's not gonna like run away and cry or anything like that. You know what I mean?
And the only thing that discussion really brings about is his lisp inherent in him, or was it picked up? The end.
Actually, we had a discussion about that, and we never did get to the point of it. We don't know if he actually puts it on, because we have had that one night where he had some kind of cold situation where his throat was fucked, and his voice was a lot more raspy, and his lisp went away.
Not only that, but when he yells, it goes away.
So it might be an exact signifier for cueing other men that he's down.
Well, yeah, it's part of the identity, right? Which is why I was talking about it in the first place, because it ties in. The gay community has eccentric things that they do that basically signal to other gay people that they're a part of the same community.
Well, there is kind of a truth to that, because like my
not kind of, it's 100% a truth.
Well, no, I'm thinking about my old boss, because he's like a 52-year-old gay man, and he's he used to do the drag and stuff, and I mean the only time he ever talked like that was when he was dressed in drag. The rest of the time he just talked normal, and he was just like, well, when I'm putting on the persona, I'm putting on the persona.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Oh, I thought you were gonna bring it home.
But then there's tweaks, I just remember him mentioning that. Like, there's tweaks who put it on all the time. Like,
yeah. What's that? Like, I've seen the YouTube videos. There's quite a many of them of the coming out and then they get attacked by their parents. It's like, clearly you're recording this because you knew they were gonna have a negative reaction and you wanted the sympathy for coming out. Right? It's like, so that video wouldn't exist if you thought they were going to be cool and accepting it. Like, you knew that they had a negative view and you created the confrontation and then recorded it for the victim points. Right? No? Nobody's seen those videos? I see them all the time. They're all over YouTube.
I've only seen a couple of them, but like when you put it like that, it almost seems like they egged it on first before they even recorded.
Right. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. And here's the thing: is there are the indicators, and there are homophobic people who will actively try to stop their children from being gay. Right, and it is genuinely homophobic, not like somebody who's like, I think that being gay is a choice and it's wrong. That's not homophobic, but a legitimate fear a parent has of their child being gay, I think, would qualify as being homophobic. and they try to like force them to do heterosexual stereotypical things, like putting them in sports and self-defense classes and stuff like that to try to beat the gay out of them.
Actually,
sorry,
on
can
that
I
topic,
just-
are you back?
Yeah, I've been back for a while.
No, not you. The white YouTuber's fucking back.
He heard gay and he's like, what? My community.
Wait, one thing. Okay, just let me say one thing, Kat. To answer your question, when we were talking about the whole loss of shit talking culture among women, maybe.
He was trying to talk to me.
Ziggy, you got muted.
I was actually listening. I wanted to hear your response.
Usually that's funnier. I'm sorry. All right, got you.
Ziggy, you're muted. Unmute yourself.
I think a lot of the reason that the shit talking culture might have been lost in women, at least, or like joking around with each other or making fun of each other, might have to do with online texting communication.
Okay.
Because I think girls specifically are more language orientated in some way, and then you think about what you're saying when you write more, and then when you learn to communicate with each other through writing, you might start to be careful about what you say more. I don't know. It might be something along those lines.
Or maybe how they interpret what they're reading as well. They might add context to it that doesn't exist.
Because women don't do that in vocal conversations at all ever.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I don't know, but maybe like I just kind of feel like we were talking about generations earlier in the stream. Maybe like the millennial generation also, we had before texting and all these chat bases, we had ICQ and MSN and all of these things. And so we grew up on that thing, and I'm wondering how that might have influenced the way we communicate. I don't know. Just a thought. Anyway, okay.
Should explore that more later.
What's up, fag?
Well, hello, hero.
Hey,
Hi.
wait, Hero Marks is back too.
There we go. His ears must have been ringing. I've been talking about you for like 15 minutes straight.
Also, about homophobia and gay, that was what we were talking about before. Why is it that some parents are accepting of like gay people, but when it comes to their own children, are not accepting?
I have seen that. It's hilarious.
And I've seen that, and I think one of the reasons might be to do with maybe they think that being gay is and no offense, Hero, but is a harder life. Like, you're gonna have a tougher time finding relationships. Like, just you have kids.
Absolutely. If anything,
Hey,
they think
be careful! Don't say anything too much.
It's going to be exactly what she said. It's going to be a much harder life to be gay, and therefore it's almost like you're inconveniencing yourself and the family around you because you're choosing something.
The same way, like, you should marry a doctor or a lawyer or a rich person so that you should have an easier life. Just because, like, why the fuck wouldn't you? Because life is going to be easier if you're married to a doctor. Right?
On that same note, for all the weird bullshit that I spew on a regular fucking basis, me and Siggy have kind of talked about this, and if I had a gay child, lesbian and or gay, I wouldn't mind it as much if I didn't think that the fucking schools were trying to train him and or her to be gay. It's fine if the child takes its natural progression and naturally develops that way. But when they keep telling him that they should be gay, otherwise they're evil white people, it's kind of fucking weird. But that's more of that fucking anti-SJW narrative. That's actually really hard to cope with. Like, I don't know if any of us can actually think of a time if literally our sexuality was in question throughout our developing years. I know most of us here, except for one, will actually identify as relatively straight. I'm not sure about Darth.
Straight.
No, I've never asked Darth about his sexuality. I never asked.
Who here is like fully 100% straight? Like, wouldn't entertain the idea at all of being with the same sex?
Me. Does that include money?
Yeah.
Varen?
How much money would it take for you? Wait, what? Whitey, how much money would it take for you to suck on a dick?
Oh, dude,
Oh
like
my God.
in front of a webcam.
you fill my fucking gas tank in a Snickers bar, you know? Like, fuck, man. Like, I got bills, man.
What do
you
you
kidding me?
drive?
Just pay my rent for like half the month. Yeah. We talking about
When I
tank
say
gas.
under no circumstance, that's what I mean. Money included. There is no possibility that
Oh,
you
that's
would
not-
entertain
you can be
being sexual with the opposite sex.
You can be straight and then suck some dick for money. That's different. Fucking John. No, say like what, dude? You got bills to pay, man. Like you're
See,
saying.
everyone in the stream would entertain the idea of being with the same sex for money.
Hey, it's Gunny.
No, that's for the Gab person to take their money. To
Anyone who says
I
they
got
wouldn't
you,
is
bitch.
lying.
Gab, take
Yeah, Siggy. There's a qualifier. So
Yeah.
getting your dick sucked or sucking dick, right? Are those
Sucking
the
dick.
same thing? Are those the same thing though?
Sucking dick.
Right.
For the men. For the women.
Sucking
I
dick is
guess
just a
it's-
natural process that every
I
woman has
guess
to
for the
undergo.
women it's eating
Sure.
pussy because I don't know how much money you'd have to give me to eat pussy.
There's no such thing as a straight woman. So
You know what? I have footage of Siggy making out with other women and grabbing their tits.
Wait.
No, wait, guys. This is how you take charge. Let's go down the list of the people in the stream and ask them what's the minimum amount of money they would fuck the same sex for money. All right.
I feel like we just need to start playing Never Have I Ever.
Well, see, now here's the thing. When it comes to that question, it
See,
depends
now
on the
I know what I can give you, Siggy, to get you to kiss other girls. You know, maybe some good beer, maybe some wine.
See, Jen's not straight either. Called it.
Yes, but it's whether
straight
girls.
women.
Yes, but it's whether you're a giver or a taker is really relevant to the conversation.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying, right? Yeah. I think even for women.
I think most women are takers from both. Whether they're givers both ways, though, I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like how much money to have sex with the same sex. It's like, well, is that as a giver or a taker? Those are two different scenarios.
Would you ladies put on a strap on and fuck a guy in the ass?
Okay. I know some of the women in here would do it for free.
There's 3 women, so that's 2 out of 3.
Wow.
And I already said not me, so that leaves 2.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
There you go. We know who the other 2 are. We know who are willing to put on strap-ons and fuck their boyfriends.
I'd do anything for you, baby. Like,
I know. All I have to do is ask. That's the best part.
Anyone in here would fuck for money for the different sex. It just
For
depends on-
money, for fun,
so
for
everyone
the
in here is
experience.
a whore. So do we all identify now as prostitutes?
Yes.
Say I.
Aye.
Oh, that reminds me of the video I was making. It was about an article that was equating prostitution to slavery.
Oh.
That's what it was
Dude,
about.
if Bill Gates came my fucking like, he was like, yo, 300 grand right now. So, dude, like Bill Gates will. He would never
Gotta
have-
put at least another zero.
Your number's as low as 300 grand?
He would have
that's
to-
pretty low.
That's pretty killer.
He's
Yeah,
he's
that's-
a billionaire here. Come on.
He would have the best head ever. It wouldn't even be like a. Are you kidding me? Like, dude, I'd fuck. Oh my god, it'd be crazy. He'd come back. He'd be like, dude, like, I need you. I'd be like, I got you, Bill. I got you. But the first time was
you're
a favor.
playing the long con. Got it.
Yeah, the first time was a favor. I was giving you a discount. Now, you know, now my fees go up.
I don't know how Melinda would feel about that.
Oh, well, I can suck her dick too.
You could get Ivanka to join in on that and be like, family party.
But he's right. If you get a good reputation with the high-end rich crowd about being one of the best dick suckers, you can absolutely make all the money in the world.
You know what's sad? There probably is a woman like in like the whole because everyone's in their groups, everyone talks. There's probably like in the whole rich community, like, yo, Sarah from fucking Beverly Hills sucks a mean dick, and she's just like fucking sucking everyone's dick. That's over like $1 million net worth. Like, how awesome is that? That joke died. Sorry about that.
Get it insured.
Take the whole thing.
Insured?
Take the whole
Yeah,
thing.
they insure people's legs and arms. And
Okay, well then, try not to spill it on the table. Siggy decided to join me in my little dungeon basement to steal a bunch of my beer because I drank apparently my last beer. or took the last beer. So she's like, "No, you're not leaving without beer." So she showed up to steal beer.
Lovely.
Well then.
Yeah. Talk about equality.
Sounds more like socialism, but all right.
It absolutely is socialism, and that's the price you have to pay when you're in the relationship.
Yeah.
Sounds like
The woman
So,
owns you, and you are the means of production.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes.
So while I was away, what did everyone decide the amount of money required for me to give them a blowjob?
You were debating on whether or not you actually even needed any money for that.
I mean, just buy me dinner. Just, as long as you have a car and enough money in your wallet to buy me dinner, I'll give you a BJ behind the dumpster.
How do you feel about the dollar menu at McDonald's?
You don't have to take me out any fancy. I'll have McDonald's for dinner.
Oh.
Okay, so Hero Morgs is willing to give up blowjobs for the price of McDonald's. How much does McDonald's cost?
You can
A big chicken is $1.
Yeah, you can. No, not chicken. No, like a hamburger. No cheese.
Hamburger.
Does it have to be a value meal?
Yeah, just get me like a happy meal, and I'll make you happy.
All right, so $1.99 is what it costs for Hero
I don't know.
Morgs
It
to give
depends
you
on
a
what the toy
blowjob.
is.
That's why you have so many.
Depends on what's better. If the girl's toy's better, I want the girl toy. But if the boy's one's better, I want the boy one. Oh no, actually no. Give me the boy one, and then I'll give it to Lockdown. And I'll just say, Uncle, we're gonna have to work
if you don't
really
like
hard
the
to get
stream,
that.
you can leave and we can try and bring Politipod back.
Oh, you want Politipod back and you want me to leave?
No, I'm just saying. If you're unhappy with
Fuck
the
that
stream is
guy.
going, you know I have only love for you in my heart and my wallet.
But before you leave, what item off of the McDonald's menu would it take for you to suck dick?
Me? Oh, I think other people.
No,
Okay.
Aaron.
I wouldn't suck dick for anything from McDonald's.
So Burger King?
No.
Pizza Hut.
Outback Steakhouse.
Maybe KFC.
Final offer.
And hey,
Taco
the
Bell.
white YouTuber left. So
Wait, is Taco Bell considered like a fancy food in Australia?
probably.
Taco Bell over there?
I don't remember
Is-
seeing
is-
one there actually, so it might be.
Isn't Taco Bell where you go
it's
when you're
authentic.
poor?
It's authentic Mexican, my dudes.
So it's cheap and contains rabies. Okay. Is Banshee in here?
What about you, Trigger? What restaurant would you like to go to before you have to suck dick?
I'm gonna have to pass. I'd rather starve.
You'd rather starve than eat semen. All right.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: is I can go out into the woods and survive. So I don't really need the money. So it's not like it's not a necessity for me to survive. Because people are like, I have to eat to live, and I'm like,
turn down money, guys. I've never heard a Jew turn down money.
I'm not turning down free money. They're not just giving me money; they're asking for something in return.
Yeah.
But what about if it was I brought you McDonald's that I could suck your dick?
Well, see that would be a different story, but it wouldn't be McDonald's. It'd have to be Taco Bell. That's
So
my
if I
go-to.
brought if I brought you Taco Bell, you would let me suck you off.
It depends what you brought, but I'm not going to tell you what to bring, so you have to figure it out when you show
It
up.
has to be a fries supreme. Wait,
Don't forget cinnamon twists.
Guys,
cinnamon.
Next day on the guacamole, though.
Guys, do you want to help me finance this for Hero Morgs?
Well, isn't it like half?
You know what? I'm willing to donate $60 for McDonald's food or
Let's
Taco
start
Bell.
let's start a FundMe page for my trip to America to give him a blowjob.
And we got to stream the whole thing.
You know what? You have me on record saying I will donate $60 for all the food that Trigger could want at wherever the fuck you're going.
Could you donate that to Jen and I's stream of creators when she gets around to it?
Are you guys still doing your weird stream about child friendliness?
I still have to do it. I still have to do it. Yeah.
I mean, Jen keeps saying that she's gonna do it, but I don't think
I have to tweak it because that one doesn't load up on OBS very easily. So.
Do you want me to start a new world?
No, it's good.
Very dubious.
I kind of want to show the world because I mean, like, I built like 2 buildings on it. I mean, the one looks like shit, and the other one's like, but looks better than the other one. So, I built a gay barn, and then I built a gay bar.
In that Creativerse?
Yeah.
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 You guys should come play with us. It's free.
I was looking at it. I don't understand what the concept is behind this game.
It's like Minecraft without the Minecraft. Yeah, guys, why can't you play like a real game?
It's cancer with more cancer.
Although it would be funny having you like, you army gaming kind of guys play it, just so you could run around and mock it. That would be funny too.
You think the army is fun and mocking?
They would mock it, but then they would fall in love with it, and then they would probably tame it more pets than you have, Jen. And yeah.
And then they'd kill them in front of me.
Okay, so let's get back on topic for just one moment. Does anyone think that other people... Do you think there's anything else out there that other people should not identify as? And I actually want the answer to this question.
People should not identify as an animal.
As an animal. Yeah. So you're against furries, cloppers, fuzzies, frugals.
No, furries don't identify as an animal. They dress up as an animal.
And no,
uppers, downers.
Wait. Did you say uppers and downers?
Uppers, downers, zoopers, poppers.
What I disagree with is people who think that they're otherkin. They believe that there's some kind of spiritual animal that lives in a dreamscape for 1,000 years, and I literally spoke to one on Minecraft.
Stop identifying as a dragon.
Farron?
How do you feel about that? People think you should stop identifying as a mythical dragon creature.
Those people can go fuck themselves.
I've told you guys multiple times that I have tried to do that, okay, but my penis is not long enough to reach the inside of my butthole. Please stop telling me to do that.
Where I'm like, maybe I should send a link to this to Rational Dragon, even though I haven't talked to him in like a year.
But did anyone actually answer my question? Is there a difference between identifying as something and describing yourself as something?
Yeah, we said stop being postmodern.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
Okay, hold on.
No, that's fine. I accept
let's
that
actually think about
answer.
this. No, I want to think about this for a second. I describe myself as what? What do you guys describe yourselves as things? Like, I know Kat, Jen, and Siggy would all identify and describe themselves as women simultaneously, no?
Well, mans.
Whoa.
I'm flip-flops.
You're flip-flops. Not even a woman, just flip-flops. Just use her, come on her, and then flip-flop away.
Yes.
I would identify as female.
Female, not a
I
woman.
would identify as an unsanitary
I don't know.
sex
Women
ed.
sounds old. I don't want to be old.
Unsanitary toupee.
How about female? Are you guys willing to identify as a female?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so all three of you are willing to identify as a female. Otherwise, you're flip-flops, unsanitary, and... Jen,
So
what
being
did you...
a woman feels like
old.
Well,
And
I don't know why you would... You're a woman as soon as you ovulate, basically. So I don't know where you get that from.
Once the first period happens, they're women.
That's pretty much it.
Okay, yeah.
So do the religious people agree that they should identify as women the moment they start ovulating?
I'm going with no.
All right.
No.
Well, there's a whole period between starting the ovulation and the finishing of the actual maturing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it the sexual period?
No, I think like
the
I
development.
have no substantial evidence to back this claim but I will say that I feel like being a woman feels like you're in your, late 30s into your 40s. Like you have, like being a woman feels like you have more wisdom in a way. Like it's not necessarily a bad thing.
So you
It
don't
just feels like
identify-
something you evolve into.
So you don't identify as the label of woman.
No,
because
I'd
woman
identify as
means
female,
something
but I
different to
wouldn't
you
identify as
outside
woman.
of being a female above the age
Yes.
of maturity.
So like the difference between being a girl and being a woman, right, Siggy? A girl is
Yeah.
one, a woman is another, but they're both female. Is that what you're saying?
So are all
Here,
three of you
who's
willing to
making that
identify
noise?
as girls?
Yeah.
That's one.
Girl
Girls?
power.
Yeah, I would be more likely to identify as a girl than I would as a woman.
I'm just gonna throw that out there. That's weird.
Cat?
I know, and I'm probably
Cat?
Woman.
Woman as opposed to girl.
Yes, because I am mature.
All right.
I don't
So
feel
that's-
mature yet.
That's because you go to university in Canada where they teach you that you're not an adult, as we've learned from privately recorded conversations.
Yep.
Trigger when I share things with you.
What? No, I'm just saying
They're
they
privately
tell you
recorded
that
and
you're
uploaded
not
to a
mature enough
separate
to handle
server.
things. Right? That's what they tell you. That you're not mature enough to handle those things.
There's numerous things that you could be referring to, and that's actually what makes me nervous. That there's more than one thing that you could be referring to right now.
And that's why I keep telling you, stop doxing yourself.
I wish I could be a Ferengi.
Okay. As every other male identified individual in this room, who here is willing to identify as a man? Please
I am
sound
a
off.
Dude, I have so much hair. I can one rip off from my chest. I can get at least 15 strands of hair.
Ugh.
Like boom.
That's nasty.
Wait, identify as a what?
A man.
Yeah.
Okay, so and their final contestant?
Is that me?
No, I heard you say you identify as a man.
I said,
Yeah. So does that no? You're not a man.
well, I am, but
Do you identify as a man?
I don't
You
see that
identify-
like as being a significant part of my identity. But if a doctor asks me, the answer is yes.
See,
Right,
I'd say male.
But when I
or
think about
female.
who I am in the world, that's not something that actually even comes to mind.
So you don't think you're a man? You don't think you identify or contribute to the definition of the classical definition of what a man should be? You don't pay the bills. You don't take care of the
No,
wife.
I'm saying it's not
But
a
see, like,
consideration in my mind. Like it's not something that I've ever
No,
consciously
but I'm
thought
not
about.
asking
and
you
that's-
whether you on a daily basis wake up in the morning and say,
No, I'm
"Yes,
saying
I
ever. Like
I
I never
am a man."
looked at myself and said I'm now a man because of whatever or anything like it's not. You are the
Isn't it-
first person to ask me. Let's
Every
do
time
that.
I wake up in the morning, I know I'm a man because I got such a fucking raging boner.
no,
So,
but this is what, like, isn't it like if I ask you the question, Loki, if I ask you, what would you describe yourself as? Could you answer that? Answer
I would
that.
actually have to stop and think about it for the current moment. What do you mean I identify myself as? If it's between me and you, I don't have to identify myself as a man, as straight,
No,
as
no,
a
no,
Russian,
not
as
identify.
anything.
What would you describe yourself as? Like, okay, I'll go first. Okay,
Fucking hungry,
I
occasionally
describe-
sleepy, occasionally fucking excited, and occasionally some other bullshit.
Okay,
I have a bad habit
big-
of describing
the-
myself
like
as what
all-
I'm currently feeling.
all seven
More
doors.
so, what? All,
Yeah,
all
exactly
seven
what I was
dwarves. Except for a dwarf. I refuse to identify myself as a dwarf. Just because I'm
Yeah, I
6'3"
could a little.
does not mean I'm a dwarf.
You're not. Don't lie.
You're right. I'm not 6'3". I'm like 3'4".
You could self-identify as a giant dwarf.
But I've been called dwarf in high school, so.
Look,
No,
look,
but see,
Well,
like,
if
I
the minute
could-
your shoe fits.
I
One time I got locked inside a locker. Anyways.
one time, right? One time. If any of you want to pity anybody,
Three
Siggy's
times
the
I got
person.
locked inside a locker. Anyway, No, but like if you were gonna ask, what
Don't
would
feel
you describe
bad.
yourself
Don't let
as?
your fucking
For
red
fuck's
pills
sake,
get
the
to you.
point.
This is all her fucking her Muslim Iranian cousins locking her in the locker to prove a point that they're dominant and stronger than her. Not white people. Not North Americans.
I have
Yeah, but
stories
white made
there
him do
too.
it, so
Sorry, what'd you say, Kat? I couldn't hear you over
I
the.
made a joke.
What did you say?
Whitey made him do it.
Oh.
I have a joke.
All right.
All right, go for it.
What's the hardest thing about eating a vegetable?
What?
Getting past the wheelchair.
Yeah, but no, it's when the wheelchair gets stuck in your teeth.
There we go.
You ruined it. You're a butthole.
All right.
I love you anyway. It's okay.
No, he ruins everything.
I am the ruiner of worlds. In fact,
Why the
Varens
fuck are you with them then?
has labeled me
Because I love
ruined
him.
because
You
I
what?
ruined everything.
Yep.
Did you just say that you love him?
Yeah.
That's
My
nasty.
God, dude, run.
Aww.
I think that qualifies as public displays of affection.
Oh,
You know what?
fuck
You know what
off.
though? You know what though, guys? I think I can at least point to 3 people in this Discord that I know genuinely love me.
I love you.
And that's something I can identify
in a
as.
Discord
as a-
of like 300 people. You're not doing very
Sorry,
well.
sorry. Oh, okay. First of all, let's get this straight. In a Discord of 300 people, if I can point to at least 3 people that I feel love me, that's that's better than what most people are going through in life.
Everybody loves me. It takes about a decade for me to really get to alienate the people who care about me. It's hard. It's hard work. I'm just so charming and endearing. It's hard to
Says
overcome.
the Jew. Says the Jew.
Oh, I hate you all.
As long as we can all be friends and get along, that's the most important part. Friendship and magic, guys. Friendship and magic.
I look at music and killing terrorists. But whatever.
So what's everyone's plan for New Year's Eve?
Hey! This stream is not over, and this is not your fucking personal way to brag about your plans for New Year's Eve.
No, I have no plans. I'm wondering what everyone else is doing.
We can save that for the end. Are we ending this? Is this what's happening? Are we going into hour 4, ending this bullshit?
I don't know. Do you have any more questions about identity?
There's always more. Are you kidding? We haven't even.
For
What
New
is
Year's,
it?
I'm probably just gonna go to bed at like 9:30
AM or PM?
Where are you, Hero?
New Zealand. For fuck's sakes, he's a Kiwi.
Oh,
we keep
so what
fucking
time is
making
it
the
where
joke
you
for
at?
years.
Did you just say she's a Kiwi?
He. I know what you identify as. I'm not going to misgender you.
He respects your pronouns. Don't worry.
Okay.
Oh.
And it's not because my government mandates it. It's because I respect the person.
You respect.
There you go.
Justin, I'm gonna leave and play video games. Yeah.
There's no room for respect on the internet.
Does
Cool.
anyone want to
Okay,
turn on their
seriously, we have
cameras
no
just
other
so we can
alcohol?
see?
No.
Sorry, what did you say, Hero Morgs? Siggy's going through withdrawal syndromes.
Does anyone
We
here
tried
want
to
to turn on their
Quebec.
camera? Does anyone here want to try turning on their cameras like just one time?
I don't have
On
one.
the internet, what, streaming?
Like if any, well, I did it before. I'd do it again.
I knew you would. I don't have one.
Terrible decision, though.
Oh, look at
Aw,
her.
I want to hug you.
People love my hugs.
I feel like you give really good hugs. You
I
probably
do.
give,
I'm tall.
yeah.
Like you'll come up to like here on me, so you're.
I'm very
right
short. I think my license says I'm a 154 centimeters. I don't know what that.
154 centimeters?
Yeah,
2 feet tall.
2 feet tall. I'm pretty sure I'm like 4'11" or something.
Something like that. Whose cat was that? Was that our cat or was that someone else's cat?
No, our cat's
Oh, that's it. Our cat's asleep. Occasionally, I will try to fucking upload more videos of my cat when she's sleeping and snoring because you can hear her from the living room inside of Siggy's office.
My cat is sleeping on the water heater because it's cold as fuck in here. But she occasionally jumps down and looks when I'm not talking to see if I'm laying down yet.
Wait, you're in Missouri and it's cold? Our cat's sleeping in front of the heater.
Yeah, of course it's cold. It's fucking like 22 degrees outside, which is
No, can you say that in Celsius?
yeah. Give me a second. Hold on.
Well, Celsius.
Fuck you.
-5.
I identify as Canadian 100%. I love Canada.
-5.
Oh.
Siggy.
Not Trudeau,
-5.
but Canada. -5? How is
That's
it -5
true.
where you are?
We have
How is
actually
it?
some of the most drastic temperature changes.
It's only like
in the world.
-2 where we are. How is it
Siggy,
colder where
Siggy,
you
Siggy.
are?
Just remember,
How
he's
does
in
the
the
science work?
Siggy.
How does science work?
he's in
Yeah,
the Bible
typical
Belt.
woman.
It's not a
Effect.
Oh no, it is currently -4, but it feels like -10.
It's +8 where I am.
+8.
Bitches! Yep. 47 Fahrenheit if you're American.
Do you know what it actually is? It's actually the updraft of California burning to a crisp. That's what it is.
Wait, why is that not trending on Facebook? I'm really
Because
curious.
nobody cares about fucking pedophile California.
I just
Right
find it
now-
interesting.
Oh, that reminds me,
Right now-
Loki.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the one identity is the pedosexual that needs to die a horrible, horrific death very quick.
Is the pedosexual an actual identity? I'll
They're
like
make-
proof that
They're
an
making it a
actual-
thing. It's trending on fucking Twitter from the fucking Heart Progress fuckers.
I was pretty sure we were making it a thing as a joke. Like, I mean, the alt-right or whatever fucking community we're in. We were
I
making
was
it
never
another
making that.
pizza.
It was a po. I think we were calling it. Did you say you're ordering pizza again?
I don't know, maybe.
All right. This time, order more chicken wings, less barbecue sauce, less.
Can you drive to Quebec
more
and buy
sauce.
more beer?
I am not driving drunk to Quebec to buy you more beer.
Who's in Quebec? Someone we know. Wait, is Magic in
Magic.
Quebec? Magic,
Magic
can
is
you
in Quebec.
send us more
He's
beer?
not here.
He's not even here. No one's here anymore, Siggy. Nobody can hear your pleads for
Can
more
you
alcohol.
Uber us more beer?
Guys, I've been spending over $100 a fucking week on beer because of Siggy's drinking habits.
I drink
Canada,
2 beers a
Northern
night.
California.
Who's in California?
No, I think that's Canada and California. We'll just give it to you. I would support that for free. We'll give you California.
You're more.
Are you
what
gonna
showing
give like
us?
what's left of California? Because California is not doing so great right now.
Is that legitimately the coloring book you've been coloring in?
Yeah, and I have all of my crayons.
Those are not crayons.
They
You
are.
fucks all spell coloring wrong. I just want you to know that.
Okay. I'm
They are.
Can-
Those
can
things
we
are
get it?
crayon. You twist them.
I've seen those before.
Oh, those are like. Oh my god. Oh my god. That just blew my mind a little bit.
I'll blow your mind and then I'll blow your dick.
There you
Okay,
go.
see,
You got one.
there you go. I was saying he doesn't fucking offer to suck my dick, and there he goes, offering to do it on air.
He made a liar out of me. Now what are you gonna do?
I can't do anything but accept the offer. All right, come over.
No way.
Yeah, look, we're a colony.
Why didn't
You're a
you come-
colony. You can just take a trip over.
Yeah, you're all under the crown, you fucking cucks.
Shut the fuck up, Trigger.
He's got a point.
We murdered the redcoats and liberated
No,
ourselves.
shut up,
so-
Trigger. No one cares about your fat ass. Shut up.
Yeah, we just protect your freedoms. It's cool. Don't worry about it.
We have our own.
Keep talking shit. See how long Trump keeps that up.
I just want
So-
to say that I am not cucked and I respect America and I'm happy to see redcoats die.
Good on you, Darren. Good on you.
That is why the Marine Corps is moving the 3rd Marine Division to Australia.
Oh God.
For an invasion or defense. I'm not sure what you're defending them
Defense.
from, and I'm not sure why you're invading them because they.
To impregnate all the women.
Oh. I see.
We got to get the cuckery out, right? Apparently, there's too much SJW nonsense, so the Marine Corps is going to come in and
Well, that is what happens, right? When the country is being slowly defended by America, they set up a lot of bases in America, and a lot of the drunken military forces walk around impregnating the prostitutes, creating the next generation
not
of the
necessarily the prostitutes. Probably mostly the prostitutes, but not only the prostitutes.
Yeah. Give him a little bit more credit than that.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
This is weird. This is the biggest problem that I had. I loved Australia. Biggest problem that I had. Strip clubs. There's like a 5-foot rule with the fucking lap dances. There's like no touching. But then there's prostitutes a block away. It makes no fucking sense.
Well, no. The prostitutes get you excited. The strippers get you excited. The prostitutes finish you off after the strippers don't let you touch them.
Right, but they could just combine them and they would make even more money.
If they were
it's just more capitalism.
They wouldn't be Australia.
that was the only. I had my captain. He got so many lap dances, and they're like $60 lap dances at this fucking strip club. Well, they're probably ripping them off, I would imagine. But he was paying like $60 a lap dance, and they don't even touch you. Like there's not even physical contact at all in any way. I'm like, you could go buy a prostitute for like half of what you spent on these fucking lap dances. So, that would be wrong.
To be fair, in my experience, the prostitutes are the strippers are normally much better looking than most of the prostitutes.
I don't know.
Actually, I might do a live stream of just driving around my neighborhood right now with the strippers, the prostitutes that are out at this time of night. I can get a decent 40 minutes of footage with constantly crabbing up new prostitutes. I live in a really bad neighborhood. I don't like it.
Oh my god! Don't be so dramatic.
Shut
Loki.
up, you pampered.
Loki. It's legal there, right? Like there's actual legal brothels.
I know. Legal brothels in Canada too, as long as they declare the taxes. No, did nobody know that Canada legalized prostitution?
So when did they legalize it?
A while ago. You just can't discuss prices out in the streets. You can fuck for money all you want.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
The only thing I have is the Protection of Communities and Exploited Persons Act, which is talking about making it more illegal than it already was.
Once I sober up a little bit, I will try to find...
Wait, are you drunk? Do you have beer left?
I don't have beer left, Siggy. I don't have beer left. I had instead of 2, and you drank most of my 3rd one.
Here you go. I have the answer. I've got the answer. Selling your own body for sex is legal. Buying sex is illegal.
Right, so you can't discuss the price on the street. But when you're but when you're on private property or a hotel room, you can discuss the price inside the safety of that room. So you can sell your body all you want. You can even advertise.
Right, selling your body is legal. Buying is illegal.
Who is dying in the background?
If you are the John, you are breaking the law.
You're breaking the law only if the law gets discovered. So basically, they're saying women are allowed to sell their body, men are not allowed to buy their body.
Right. Which I'm saying is in Australia, it's legal.
Is it racist that whenever I color in, they're always white? Is that racist?
Yes.
It's a preference.
You have to make sure that when you color them in, the black people are always dying.
I have brown. I have brown and black.
Okay.
But I never used them.
Can I just point out that crayon has never made a convincing brown skin color?
Yeah, I mean, these a dark brown and a light brown and
I have like 15 brown color pencils, and none of them quite get Kanye's complexion right.
Well, what about the black ones?
Wait, Hero Mort, can you convincingly draw us a black person with your crayons while we're on air? Please.
Oh, I don't know how to draw big booties and stuff.
Just pretend he's white. Just draw him with a black or a brown or a whatever the fuck crayon.
But I don't want to put a brown dye in my coloring book.
Don't do it on a
look.
coloring book. Do it on a random piece of paper. See if we can get the skin color right.
So at the strip clubs, can the strippers touch you in Canada?
Legally, no. Do they? Yes. I know
like,
that.
Have you been there before, you naughty boy? Have you been there before, you naughty boy?
I've been to a strip club. I've been to a strip club, and I've been pulled on stage by a strip club, and I've had my pants ripped
Is that
out.
when you meet Siggy?
And I've had my pants fucking ripped off of me on stage.
Is it?
So,
And that's where you meet Siggy, isn't it?
no, I met Siggy in school for totally different reasons.
In strip club school?
No, sadly, it was a horrible. It was actually York University, one of the most liberal schools any of you would have ever known.
So you were selling drugs?
I was selling drugs at the time, absolutely.
Called it.
There's no reason why I wouldn't be.
Other than it's illegal?
Sure. Illegal. Whatever you say.
Wait, does Canada actually look up people who sell drugs?
What? No. People who sell drugs in Canada just go to jail for the winter to stay warm.
Oh, okay.
And then they get released back on the streets because no one gets actual convictions for selling drugs.
Of course not.
It's not a real crime. It's just something America doesn't want us to have legal. So as long as America doesn't think we have legal drug selling, it's fine. I know people who sell drugs to cops on a regular basis. They're
Literally
like,
the only thing out of Canada that I like is Rachel McAdams. You can keep the rest.
Is who?
Rachel McAdams?
I don't know who that is.
She was in The Notebook.
Oh, I like who she's called.
The what?
She was also in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and she was one of the demons.
Wait,
I've seen the
Vampire
Notebook.
Slayer. She's one of the demons. I know what that is.
How about The Time Traveler's Wife?
Nope, don't know that either.
Wedding Crashers.
These are the brown ones that I have.
So,
Like
how
that
did the
one's
picture come out?
Kind of brown. I didn't draw one.
Oh, you didn't draw a person? I literally want to be the. Those are not human shades.
Draw Muhammad.
No, I want the thumbnail for this video, a screenshot of you drawing an ethnic person with your crayons. You have to you have to make that happen.
You're trying to get him sent to prison?
Draw Muhammad.
Draw Muhammad? It's not
Could
draw
I just
Muhammad.
Could I just draw a stick person but use brown?
Okay,
That's fine.
the specifications
That's
are
fine.
person and of color.
Muhammad is the person.
Sisters are down back, right?
After all that thing about Lilith and Lily going to Gary's house and watching them roll chilies and all the rest of those, and her saying both of them that she's felt like punching him in the head and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Varen, is that Australian? Is that what Australian sounds like?
Tonight?
No, that's New Zealand.
Can you tell the difference? Because I can tell the difference between the Chinese person, the Japanese person, and the Korean person, but I can't tell the difference whether that's Australian or New Zealander.
I guess I can.
All right.
I'd have to listen to it for a longer period of time.
Wait. Does Australia have its own language?
Maybe like for the
Speed?
Aboriginal.
Sorry, what?
You lean heavy on the word cunt. Does that count?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so do you have to actively try to speak more American?
No.
Are you sure? I kind of want to hear your Australian accent come out to its fullest.
My voice is just always been like this.
No, not your voice. Your what's it called, pronunciation?
Did one of you guys mute me?
No.
That's fine. Someone did.
I muted you.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
I didn't know Varen had the power to mute people.
I can mute whoever I want. Whatever.
Well, he was trying to pretend so the internet didn't hear you getting yelled at.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't getting yelled at. No one was telling me about my stupid auntie.
Stupid auntie?
Yep.
What
You
word?
like your aunt?
Well, she's an idiot. She lets Lachlan's sister sleep at her dad's house while he's, rolling up tinnies with her granddad. You're a fucking idiot.
All right.
Oh, there's a mosquito on my arm.
Kill it.
Kill it for sure.
Murder it.
This is the most enjoyment you guys have had on the stream in a while. I can feel it. It's like right in there. Its bum's getting bigger too. Hey, dude, I can see you, motherfucker.
Pop it. Pop it like a pimple.
Eliminate all of them.
All right.
Well, the
I'll be right
thing
back.
is that
Be right back. Yeah, sir. What you were saying?
oh yeah, fuck off, get out. You've had enough. Go away. Ow.
Oh, that was lovely.
The antihistamines that I usually take make, itchy bitesly itchy, but I've got one there and I itch the fuck out of that, and then I've got one there which I itch the fuck out of, and then I've got two on there that I itched really bad, and now I just look like a druggie. So I need my regular brand. No, unfortunately not. I mean, I fit right in with Lachlan's side of the family. God damn. Well, I learned yesterday from that Lachlan's dad Shannon took Lachlan's older sister Lilith, my cousin, his auntie Lily, on a drug run.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. And what we were talking about before was Mum just found out that she let Lilith go to Shannon's house again, and Shannon wound up taking her. Pardon? Okay. And then I found out today that Shannon took Lilith to her granddad's house where they were just rolling up tinnies. Because Shannon's dealing for his dad.
Right.
So yeah, Shannon is legally at the most allowed to see Lachlan 6 times a year plus Christmas and birthdays, and last week it was every second week he could come over, but after finding out this information today, Mum's decided to reduce it right down to the bare minimum. And Shannon thinks that he can go and talk to his lawyer about it, and we pretty much said to Shannon that you go talk to your lawyer and we will fill up a bucket of shit and we will throw it at the flame and you'll get splattered with it. Because he's just a dumb cunt.
That's not a smart move at all.
He's not smart. Right, Jigaboo here is like curly. Curly, kind of flat at the top.
Did everybody else on the stream die? Someone happened?
I mean, they're probably just sad and as pissed off as I am.
Yeah, probably.
I'd really like to take a knife to his dick and just cut it off and maybe just stab his whole family. Because honestly, Lilith, she's just the cutest little thing. She's
Right.
2 years old. She's so sweet and innocent. And just Aunt Christine's such a fucking shit-ass parent.
Yeah,
she shouldn't have been out able to have kids. It's just annoying. Does that look black man enough?
What the fuck?
That is.
They're black.
I have no idea.
Is that Black Jesus?
I've done the ear.
Is that a mustache?
That's the top of the head.
The head. It's the head.
Oh.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we have to set this live stream on fire and never show it to anybody else. I think this attempt to talk about identity amongst other individuals has failed miserably, and we've gone down to
It
trying.
wasn't that bad. I think we just kind of died at the end here.
Yeah, okay, so we're
I
just gonna, we're just gonna
wanna
end it
say-
now.
No, don't end the call because I still have to finish coloring in this black man.
No, I'm just gonna end the live stream, and you guys can
What
stay in the
colour-
call.
What colour eyes do black guys have?
I wanted to say one last
ones?
thing. So
what did you want to say?
I wish more people put actual thought into what they identified as. I see a lot of vapid beliefs people have that change at the first sign of an aggressive opinion forced against them. People who say that they are open to new ideas and literally have nothing occupying their minds but whatever sounds best as it comes to pass. Also, if you are going to identify as something, you should be absolutely certain of what you support. I identify as a capitalist because I love capitalism. I see a win-win solution between two individuals coming together to make a trade or deal, and I think that is a great system whereby both parties win. Capitalism is the core mechanic of how the world functions and something I have always valued. It is the strongest thing I have that I can identify with.
Did
I
you
like how he
fucking
says
write a
thing.
speech?
No, he's
No.
putting that in chat, man.
I fucking wrote it in chat where you guys were going off on the shit talking.
Is that you?
It's absolutely
Is that
shit
your
talking,
words?
and I'm thoroughly impressed that there was some coherence to this nonsense.
I like how I've been
So
like
beautiful.
putting my head down this whole time and no one's commented on my bold spot. I really appreciate it.
It's okay. It's because we care more about
Hero?
you
Hero?
than your appearance.
Yeah,
You actually look pretty decent, dude.
I know. People tell me I'm beautiful all the time, and I'm like, I know. When a guy buys you a drink and says, "I saw you over there. I think you're just beautiful." I'm like, "Oh, thanks so much. I know." And I drink it. I don't sip. I just drink whatever it is. I make sure that there's nothing in it.
Did you throw this out your window?
Wait,
I think so. I thought it would just decompose in the garden.
Tell your friends you have to go now
Okay,
for a minute.
okay. I have to go now for a minute.
What just happened?
I have no idea.
Okay.
what?
Okay, guys, I'm gonna leave the hangout. Good night.
Have a good night, Siggy.
Good night.
I think we all have to tell our friends that we have to leave for a minute.
I think we should call it that. Honestly.
What? We're never going to see his caricature of a black person. We are absolutely going to end on capitalism not being the evil ideology it's made out to be, because it's literally a relatively equivalent exchange between two individuals who believe that the service they're offering is equivalent to the fucking financial what the fuck do you call it? Compensation that they're getting in the long run.
Yeah, it's a
and
win-win
that
solution.
it is a win-win solution, and that socialists are fucking idiots for thinking that doing nothing for something is the best way to do something, because that doesn't make any sense.
They're lazy.
So yeah, identify as capitalism. Capitalists, everyone.
I think we're all inherently capitalist, because even the worst of us, the biggest socialist out of everyone out there, still monetize their videos and get paid to write their blogs.
Mm-hmm.
If you truly believed in the lack of capitalism, then you would have absolutely never monetized a single piece of your writing, your content, your opinion, or your life. You would have moved to a socialist country and lived there in obscurity.
Sure.
And I say obscurity because they don't have the internet. That's not a fundamentally socialist thing. I know a lot of Americans are trying to make it a human right, but I don't see that in any sense. But yeah, so guys, I hope you learned something about your identity. I hope we all learned something about each other's identities. I want to say good night and thanks for listening. Thanks to everyone who came to join us, and thanks for bearing with us. I see Hero Morgs is back. Do we get to end this live stream with your caricature of a black person? And there you go, guys. There you go.
Good job. Right on.
That's
Spot
beautiful.
on. Exact representation.
That's it. All right. For those of you who know, our Discord link is in the banner. Our Patreons are fucking everywhere. We all need your love and support. We will help you
Me
identify
more
as
than
the
everyone
right
else.
thing. We will help you figure out what the. Wait, Hero Morgs, I see you talking, but you've been muted. So you have to unmute yourself. I didn't want to.
If it keeps doing that, needs to stop.
You walked away and we heard
fucking
you
did.
yelling. We heard the talking.
You
I
fucking
didn't. I
bastard.
did. That was me. That was me.
Yeah, I didn't.
No.
I didn't mute myself for a reason. I thought it would have valued to hear my background bullshit, you motherfucker.
Would you like to say goodbye to our audience? I'm closing
Bye,
off. Today.
Callums. Say hi to your mum for me. Give it a tug for me before you go to sleep as well.
All right, all right. Tuck's not here, but I'm sure we'll see him in the Discord.
I want all the men to give it a tug for me before they go to sleep.
Oh, there you go. For those of you who are listening, our Discord, this link is in the channel banner. Feel free to click that shit. We are a relatively welcoming community, regardless of what the media has been calling us or identifying
I
us
love
as.
meeting new friends.
There you go. We are relatively welcoming, even though some of us are assholes and a little bit edgy.
We're not assholes. We're just people. Everyone's different. Why not be friends with as many people as possible? You might learn something new.
There you go. And on that note, have a good night.
It's